Your value is determined on your output, not the amount of work you do. What are your takes on that quote?
Yeah, that's my take. I mean, no, bro, who cares?
Yeah, that's my take.
Someone give
What's good, boys? We got Dero, we got Devo, we got Oro, we got Ando. 20-year-old millionaire.
What's wrong with this
Okay,
kid?
go.
Like, actually,
Did you
Devo.
take something? It's the fucking mint. Got
Just
something.
ignore him and
Focus,
start,
go.
start the
Okay.
start the quote.
So
start your quote,
I
bro.
heard this quote the other day. It says, "Your value is determined on your output, not the amount of work you put in."
Okay. Now, what does value mean? Like value in a business role or like value in life? Like,
Value as a person. Maybe it could be your status. It could be the way people look at you. It could be how much money you're making.
so you said the value is determined by your output, not how much work you put in.
Yeah.
Fucking fat fuck. He's like, I will kill myself. Right,
That is.
but I think he said it good. No, I think you stated it. You're like, oh, value is like, what is value? I think status is like perfect way to explain it.
Yeah.
You can use like the word status instead of value. Like, and how I look at it, like I just said yes, but if I see someone that has a Lamborghini, I'm like, okay, like that
has
guy's
a lot of value.
he's either made a lot of money or he comes from a family that's made a lot of money. Either way, that guy has a lot of value in whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
And I could see someone that works 16 hours a day and they're not making any money yet. And not that they don't have value, it's just I don't see the value. Like, so if we're talking about like knowing who has value, there has to be something to show for it.
I mean, I think it's not really a term of value. I think values. I feel like value is not the right
Accomplishments.
word. Accomplishments, but it's like it's because people probably work a lot, but they don't have that big of an output, but they probably have a lot of value. Kind of like underpaid work.
And also, I'm not saying like value as in, he's not a or she's not a good person. No, they probably
Yeah,
like that's
yeah,
not what I'm talking about. I'm talking like social like value as in of you see someone they're successful.
That's more of a
It's just
status.
different.
Thing. I think that's more
Status the best.
Status
Bro,
So
there
is
could
like-
be
status is the word.
someone that makes YouTube videos and studies how to make videos and find the exact perfect thing to do. But if they don't post, if they don't see what works, if they don't like get out there to see like, okay, I posted 10 videos in the past like week, which one performed the best and why?
Mhm.
Rather than, oh, let me study other people's and see what they did and make a spreadsheet of like what colors did the best on thumbnails. And he hasn't posted a video at all. Dog, the person that is gonna continue posting and posting and posting and getting better at making their content will do
Yeah.
better than the person sitting back and doing research all day.
I think
So even though the person posting does less work than
Yeah.
the person that's studying, the person posting all day or like making videos consistently will get further because they're actually doing the thing.
Yeah, also because they're putting it up, but that's a little different. That's more about just like, like overdoing the research phase and actually just jumping into it. I think that's a whole different topic.
Yeah, I think
Now-
that's not really related to like value.
That's
and
what I got
status
from
thing.
it.
Now let me bring this quote into play where he kind of bought in as far as the person actually doing it is getting better, is being more successful, has a lot more value. Tell me your thoughts on this. It says hustling is doing what you feel comfortable over and over again. Growing is what you do when you're uncomfortable.
Yeah. Because if you're hustling, you're doing what you know what to do.
Yeah,
Like, you
you're
already know what to
doing
do.
what you know works.
Like, for example, you're hustling. Okay, you're coming in, you're doing exactly what you're supposed to do. Getting out of your comfort zone is what we talked about.
Yeah,
you know what we
mhm.
talked about. That's hustling because you're doing like brand new stuff all over again. For example, Aro, like, what's your definition of it?
Of what, hustling?
Hustling versus grinding, or like hustling versus.
I was
Growing.
gonna ask that
growing.
after you're done saying. What do you guys define hustling and
I-
growing? I feel like they can literally both mean the same thing. It just depends on how you like
I-
want to define it.
Yeah, I don't. For me, hustling is not about like, if you're doing the same thing over and over again, or if you're trying to grow. It's just being very consistent at what
Yeah,
you do.
that's what I was
You could
thinking.
be growing or not growing, but like if you're putting in hella consistent hours, then you're hustling.
me,
But now this is
hustling-
let me bring you this where we kind of talked about the previous video. What we talked about was what I have to do in order to grow.
Mhm.
Right now, I know I'm doing what I know works.
Okay.
Right, I'm hustling. I'm working hard. I'm coming in and doing the same thing over and over again. But in order to grow, I have to come out of my comfort zone and do what's uncomfortable and take that
Bro,
step.
it's like what we
in
talked
order
about in the
to
last
grow.
podcast. You have to come down to go back up.
Exactly.
So right now you're making like 30, 20K a month. You have to take that hit, make 7K a month for the next like 2 months to be able to hit the 50, 60, 70K
Yeah.
mark.
Yeah, but that's I still don't agree because, for example, like your scenario, we're talking about you have to do something where your income's probably going to come down a little bit and then it goes up, and that's coming out of your comfort zone and kind of growing, right?
Yeah. have
Does
the
that
tough-
mean you're not hustling at that point? You're still hustling. It's
'Cause
just
hustling is
you're
kinda
also
like-
trying to grow. It's like
no, he's saying hustling is staying stagnant, and what you're doing, growing, is getting out of your comfort zone.
I think hustling is just putting in a lot of hours.
Yeah,
Doesn't
we're
matter.
We're not disagreeing with that.
Yeah.
Yes, hustling is putting a lot of hours consistently, but you're doing the same thing or similar things over and over again. Growing is taking that hit, coming down a little bit,
Mhm.
so you could go back up. For example, for me, for example, right now, this month, trading wise, I'm break even. For example, okay, and mentorship wise, I'm low because I stopped the mentorship completely. So everything took a hit this month. I literally have I have like 15K income this month instead of like 30, 40 because I took the hit. I literally am not trading as much, and my mentorship is down until the end of the month when it starts back up.
Yeah.
So in February, I'm taking the hit. But again, in the back end, I'm putting so many more systems that could make me go way higher to maybe like 50, 70, 80K a month consistently, including my accounts. I blew up all my 50Ks. Now I'm only going to start trading 250Ks.
Yeah, so that means you're growing, but
Exactly.
you're still putting in.
So
I know what you guys are
What
saying.
would you describe? What word would you use? You're constantly coming in, doing the same thing over and over again, but not growing because you're comfortable.
Consistency. No, consistency.
I could say if you put in consistent work, you'll eventually grow.
I mean, obviously, but there's
Okay,
like
here, we could call it like this. There's brainless
Damn, bro.
work, which is doing the same thing. Or there's actual like work that you like it's smart work basically. Brainless work. Oh, I'm just come do the same thing I'm doing every day. Let me just
Bro,
do
like
so-
hustling, for example, for me could be like, oh, me posting TikToks every day. I post like 3-4 TikToks a day. It's brainless.
I don't think
I just
Yeah.
make a video and post it. If I want to hustle, okay, post 3 YouTube videos a week on a car video and a video a week on a trading related topic. That's hustling because I'm getting out of my comfort zone. I'm doing.
you mean
different
growing.
I mean
Shit. It's
growing.
growing,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
But hustling is the brain dead.
So you're saying hustling is the brain that work. Oh, I just do the same thing comfortable. I'm working, but I'm doing comfortable.
I think hustling is for both.
It's both.
See,
It's
yeah,
not.
it's
It's both.
both.
It's not.
That's
It's
what
not.
I-
we converted
it's
him
not
to our
yes or no.
side. Oh my god.
There's no sides.
Yeah, it's just
Kidding, I
that's
know.
how it is.
But yeah, hustling. I think hustling is not like opposite of growing or like brainless work. I think hustling just means someone who is working hard towards what they're doing is putting in the hours, regardless of if it's brain dead work or actually smart work. The concept of brain dead work, actual smart work, is like a different. It has different word to it. I can't think of the
Now,
exact.
how
word,
would you?
but-
What's your definition of brain dead work? Because I could say, if you're doing something that's not benefiting you or making you money or actually being productive in your day, you shouldn't be doing it.
Pointless.
Yeah, I agree, but it doesn't take the fact away from what is like hustling. Hustling, in my eye, just means like working towards, just working. I guess it's not specific in like, oh, working towards the right things. I think there's like, that goes a little deeper, but hustling in my eyes is just someone who's like constantly working and working, working. Whether they're doing the right thing or the wrong thing, I don't know, but hustler is someone who's like, no matter what, they're not letting something stop them. They're just gonna keep working, working, working until they figure it out, regardless of if it's brain dead work or actual good work. They're just hustlers. They just keep on working. They keep working and trying to figure it out until something clicks.
Yeah, it's just directly like linked to consistency. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Consistency is actually an insane element, or like what
Bro, like
Dero
it's a
calls it.
superpower. It's a
Dero
superpower.
calls it a superpower.
If you're consistent,
It's-
superpower.
it's
Listen,
our
I
only
started-
superpower,
crazy.
I
guys.
started posting consistently on my YouTube in September. I'm at 30K subs. Each video averages like 5K views. Once a week, a video hits 10K views. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Just post 3 times a week. That's
My
it.
foot's numb.
Also, it does help that I have an M8.
Yeah, I
Those
mean,
those help.
also like with consistency, you just get better.
Oh,
Like your
100%.
videos are, even though you're not, maybe you are, but I don't know if you're putting in active like work trying to make every video better. It's just the
gets
more you
easier.
do it, it's obviously you
easier
get
and
better.
easier.
Yeah, it gets
Yeah.
easier.
It's like the thing.
So-
It's like the thing you were saying in the beginning. Like, oh, the person who does it 10 different times learned from the person who just thought about it, practiced
Exactly.
it 10 times, or like tried to find the perfect way to
Also,
do it.
the
for that
more you
first
do it-
time. Because when you do it the first time, it's not like you're not gonna know exactly how it is. You'll figure
I
out
do.
new things after you do it more and more. What'd you say?
I do.
Oh.
He's yapping, bro. It's okay.
No, like deadass. I wanted to like just talk about it. Like we obviously have talked about this, but you guys, like whoever's watching, please stop planning like so long. Like that's literally probably what I've wasted the most time on when I was like younger and like just getting into any like sort of business or whatever it was. It's just thinking. Yeah, you don't want to be just brain dead and start. But when you just start and you'll be fine. You'll learn so much more. Like it's crazy.
If you're gonna start to do something, again, don't do the research. You can do research, but not to the point where you're gonna like you're all recording and shit. if you're gonna do research, sure, do the research by all means. But by the time you did all the research, you understood everything. You have a notepad. You took down all the notes on everything to do. You watched 10 YouTube videos,
Yeah.
a 4-hour video course. By the time you did that, people like us did it 5 times over, made mistakes, learned from it, and now we're like successful with it. By the time you even started,
And literally,
just
like,
start doing it.
just a good example just came to my head as you said it. Like, this podcast, we literally didn't have a name for this podcast until like the last day. We had to
We had
stop
to post it,
posting
yeah.
because we didn't have a thumbnail or a name. Like,
Yeah,
bro,
Exactly.
if we were to sit there, think of the name, think of, oh, how's the
Logo,
banner gonna
yeah.
look, logo,
we wouldn't have started.
bro, we wouldn't have.
Yeah.
Or
We thought of all this like the week prior of starting the first video,
Yeah.
first podcast. We did the podcast. We got home. We edited it. We posted it. We're about to post it. We're like, wait, we don't have a title. We don't have a title, thumbnail, or
And that's how it
picture.
should be, because it's. I mean, me and Ando have tried. There was a period of time where we tried making a business together. We sat there. We thought of a name. We got a domain. We did all this just not to follow through with the business, because we did all this.
Bro,
research
like
on the
right now,
back
I'm
end.
trying to do a clothing brand
Yeah.
revenue. I bought the website, everything. I got the idea,
And
like
so now you're
revenue.
like,
and then I goes to making the clothes. I'm like,
Bro did the exact.
I did
No,
the
lit-
exact thing I
no,
said
so
not to
this
do.
is- you just gotta take the first step, because you can't plan where that first step. Is
Hey, let me
gonna
know. Does
take you.
revenue go hard? REVNU. Like, does that go hard
Hey,
for like a
don't
t-shirt?
care.
Imagine like an All Saints spec t-shirt, but like revenue. That shit's hard.
No, one thing I actually want to point out, like we've already said this multiple times, but it's so important just taking that next step. I fall under it so many times, and I talked to Dero about it too, in terms of making content, whatever, even like trading related, whatever. Bro, I just have a bad habit of planning and trying to do so much like research into what I'm doing next. Hold on, I literally can't talk. I should have got some water.
you should
But-
tell them what happened. Bro's voice is gone.
With bro, yeah, I got sick, made a YouTube video. It got a lot worse. Now my voice is gone, but it got better today. Anyways, back to what I was saying. Yeah, it's so important just taking that next step, because like
The first step, even not
the
not
first
the
step,
next
yeah.
step.
Well, next step, I mean like the next step you're supposed to take instead of thinking about what the next 10 steps will look like. Because like for example, one thing I had was like thinking about, okay, if I take this step, then what is the next 10 steps gonna look like? Oh, the next step, the next step. But if I take this route, what is that step gonna look like? But then what if that
You
gonna
don't know.
lead to
You
next?
don't know what it looks like because you're not at the step above, like in front of you. You can't plan your next step if you're not at the next
Yeah,
step.
you
and,
know-
and like it's not gonna really. I'll tell you. Continue after. It's not like it doesn't really like matter what's gonna happen after the next step, because you can't control that. You just have to do the next step, and then you'll figure it out like what will happen after you do that step. It's literally like impossible to predict what's gonna happen after the next step. So just do the next thing, and then you'll
Yeah,
figure-
because
figure
I
it out.
fell victim to that when I was like 16 and started doing my first like business entrepreneur like journeys. This said I would sit there, like I wanted to like. I mean, I was a big fish guy. Like I like the aquariums, you guys know this. So I wanted to like sell fish, and then like I had a bracelet business, whatever. This was all like when I was 13, 14. But when I first became like 17 years old, and I actually wanted to start my first business, going door to door, like selling snacks, all this to businesses. Like I never followed through with it because all I did was talk, and all I did was like just plan. And then this idea came along of what I do. I was like, I told my mom, like, I'll think about it. And then my sister turned to me, she goes, Levine, you always think and you never do shit. I was
That's
like-
crazy.
I was like, okay, watch this. And so without thinking, I made a bummy like Google slide flyer, and then I posted it on Instagram, and then that's how I got my first client. And I just took that first step.
And
I
now he has
didn't
a
think about it.
warehouse when
Yeah.
we do podcasts.
I
in.
I
Yeah.
didn't think about it. So like that's
That's
just the
crazy.
crazy
How many
part. So,
square foot is this?
this is 4,000.
4,000 square foot warehouse. One of the 3.
Soon to be 100.
No, but that's not the point. It's just like
Yeah.
taking that first step.
She had
'Cause
to
if I
make you
sat
mad.
there and planned it, I would have been like, I don't know, I don't have experience. This that. It's just so props to her for actually.
Bro, like actually, like I've thought about this before. Everything that I've tried, like from like just coming up, I always like wanted to make money on the side as much as I can with school. And I remember like just thinking back to like as simple as in middle school, I used to sell a little bit of candy. Like that's one of the things where I
boy.
did not think about at all. I just went to the 99-cent store. I would buy like a pack of these like Mexican candies.
Honey packs.
No, you not the honey
No,
packs.
hey, no,
You
those
know-
are fire. With the
you know the-
tahini, not was it tahini or like chamoy on top too.
The watermelon ones, it was
yeah.
like yeah, it's like chamoy and thyme on it. I would buy the whole thing for $1, and there was 12 in it, and I
Bro
would sell
was drop shipping before drop shipping.
yeah, and I
was a
would
thing.
sell each one for $1 at school. So like I
I
was
did that shit
making
with fidget spinners.
insane margins, and bro, that was like just this like a very small like example, but I just did it, and it was like that's the way I was making
No,
money in
it's-
middle school.
You know, it was sick. My parents had to go out yesterday, so we were watching my little cousin. She is 11 years old. She came to me yesterday. She was like, "Oh, I made bracelets and jewelry and this that. Can you buy it?" And I actually looked at it. It was pretty sick, dude. Like she made like earrings and stuff, and had a whole like price tag on it. It was like so neatly done. I was so happy. I was like, "Bro,
Bro,
what
my
the hell?"
sister did the same thing. She brought, you want my jewelry? I'm like, sure, I'll buy it for my girlfriend. Sure, I just bought
Yeah,
it.
that's so sick.
And my, go ahead.
You know what she told me? She's like, can we go outside on the street and make like a lemonade stand, but for my jewelry? I'm like, sure.
Yeah, point being, like, don't kill those.
I'm like, why do you want to do it? She's like, I
want.
want money. I'm like, what? Why do you want money? She's
Yeah.
like, Robux. I'm
I
like,
had a
"Alright."
call recently. I think one of you were on call with me. I just like went AFK.
Cousin?
Yeah, my little cousin called me, and he's 10 years old, and he calls me. He's like, "Wait," because we went to a family trip, and he was asking me. He's like, "Oh, what have you like tried?" And I was telling him about like the time where I tried like print on demand for a very short time, like just I guess it's a way of drop shipping, like print on demand. And he was like so interested about that. He's like, "I want to do this. I want to do that." I'm like, "Okay, do it." He's like, "What do I do it on?" I'm like, "I don't know. Wait, give me a second." I just search up like the first idea that came in my head. It was the first website. And yeah, he literally called me actually recently, and he's made his clothes. He's like, "What do I do now?" I'm like, "Bro, now you got to run some ads." And he was losing his mind. He's like, "Wait, how do I do that?" Like he thought it's crazy expensive.
You don't gotta
And
run an
I-
ad. Just bro, post TikToks about your clothes.
Yeah, but like he could
Who's-
run like some
He's 10.
TikTok ads.
Yeah, he's 10. Who's gonna...
No, TikTok ads not gonna pay you.
Now, this is the thing. Okay, you take the first step. You get a little bit of momentum going. Let's talk about the sacrifices.
wait,
Actually,
wait,
hold on, I have a-
quick.
Hold on.
I'll-
We
No.
just jumped.
This goes back to what you were saying. Remember when you're like, oh, I was thinking, I was doing research, I was looking at what other people are doing, stuff like that. For
Started-
example, the whole reason I started social media and everything like that was an accident. You guys know this. I was in a Discord server and I was like one of the admins in it. Okay, the whole reason I joined the Discord because I was trading and I was like, okay, I want a community of people to be in there for me to be in there with and like trade. I joined that Discord like summer of 2023, and I instantly became one of the admins because I had good callouts. I was giving callouts. They're like, oh my god, Dero, you're cracked. Oh my god. I hopped on stage. I started teaching people how to trade, how to backtest, stuff like that on that other Discord. The owner wasn't liking that. Anyway, the people on the Discord had like 100 something viewers a day on there, and they're like, yo, Dero, make your own YouTube. I'm like, okay, sure. Like, I don't know. Well, okay, how? I go how to make YouTube, whatever. I do everything. I post a video on how to trade, how to do this, how to do that, how to backtest. I start talking about that. I gained a couple thousand subscribers. I started live streaming every single day on the YouTube, me live trading. And then I got kicked out of the Discord and I got banned because of breaking rules or whatever. Anyway, that's the momentum that started off. It was an accident. I didn't think of, oh, let me plan to YouTube do this. It happened on accident and I just happened to just blow up in that small area of time. In the 1 month, I got to like 3K subs on my live streams, had like 200 viewers a day for a couple months. And then I got comfortable, which is bad. And then I stopped posting as regular on YouTube, trading content wise. And I just kind of like fell off for like a couple months, but I was still live streaming every day though.
Okay, and
Let-
see,
let-
And then
Sorry.
and then all that effort I put into TikTok, I started like grinding TikTok more.
yeah.
And then one video blew up, which is the M8 video, like 1.6 million on
Yeah.
TikTok. And then that spiked up my not consistency, but it just gave me another head start and then
Yeah.
kept me going. So YouTube pushed me and then TikTok pushed me. Now YouTube again with my car page and then back to YouTube and Instagram and
Yeah.
TikTok. Just everything just merging together and going. It's not that I planned it; it just happened on accident.
And how long were you trading at this point where you like where you got to where at that point where the Discord was telling you, oh no, bro, you
Like 2
the
years.
owner didn't like it. 2 years, right?
Yeah.
Look how like bro, a lot of people won't. This is kind of the other point I
Two
want
and
to
a
bring up,
half-ish, yeah.
but it's a good thing that you said it because it kind of leads into it. You 2.5 years. A lot of people don't stick to one thing for 2.5 years. They
Yeah.
give up within the first 6 months to a year for sure. And I wanted to point this out whenever Andrew's giving the example of his little cousin. It's called the entrepreneur cycle. I think Alex Mosley started up. I made a video on it, and you guys like were watching the video. It's called the entrepreneur cycle. Basically, it's like 5 different stages. The first one is uninformed optimism. Is when you hear something online, someone making money from it, or your friend doing something, and you're like, "Wow, he makes so much money doing
Shiny
this."
object syndrome.
Shiny object. You see, you're like, it must be so easy. It looks so easy. Let me get into it. You get uninformed optimism, right? You don't know
Yeah.
about it, but you see the good side. You have optimism for it.
Yeah.
You start it, and like as you keep doing it, you start to approach. You don't realize it's not as easy as you thought initially. It's actually harder
Yeah.
than you
The
thought
social media
first.
makes it so blinding. To
Exactly.
the
You only see the
eye.
good.
If
of
you
it.
want to trade, if you want to trade, it's gonna be the hardest thing you do. I hope you know that, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Bro, if you want to make money, it's gonna be hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Now after you're doing it for a while, you start to realize, okay, there are some stuff that I didn't really realize when the guy was making money. There's a lot of challenges that come with this. I low-key need to prepare for this and learn how to get past this if I want to actually make money. And right now you're trying to put in work and it's not working out.
Yeah.
So now you're in the informed pessimist stage. You know about it. You have the information. You know about the challenges that come with it and the good stuff. But you're
Yeah.
like, it's going
By the
downhill
way, I
for
was like
you.
3 years into my trading career when I was like on that Discord, not 2.
Yeah, bro. Even more, bro. 3 years. People like that's practically almost a whole bachelor's degree right there, bro. That's a lot of work you have to put in to get to that
Bro, I
point
have
of
like a
actually big,
PhD
like.
in trading now. I'm 5 years in.
No, literally, bro's about to get his PhD in
Bro
trading.
still doesn't know how to
PhD
spell
in 5
princess.
years.
I hardly can spell PhD.
PhD in 5 years is crazy.
And then once you get to that informed pessimist stage, pessimist, you get to that stage, you put in more time, you start to realize like, dude, this thing is just not working for me. I'm putting in more work and it's just going completely against me. I'm putting in work, but this thing is not working. And you're just putting in more work and you're
You're
trying to figure out
supposed to
more
go
challenges
harder.
come up. It's just a spiral downhill. And you're like, oh, I can't figure this out. I just want to like,
There's
quit
no
out,
figuring out,
this.
just doing it. Yeah.
So you're getting like mentally frustrated, like max to the max. And then you kind of reach to this point, it's called the valley of despair. This is like the bottom, like rock bottom area.
Yeah.
And this is the point where it
Nice.
kind of forms
God
this.
damn.
I have to like clear my
Bro's
throat.
losing his voice.
Pause the
You have to
podcast,
kind of
nobody
it
knows.
kind of forms the loop where once you get to the valley of despair, you get so like frustrated to the point where you start to see something else on social media, whatever. You're like, maybe that might be better. Maybe I chose the wrong thing.
You're
Maybe
just jumping.
I just missed it out. And then you kind of go back and start the loop again and start up that uninformed optimism again. You
Bro,
start the
shiny
whole loop
object
over and
syndrome.
over
Yeah,
again.
you just keep. Oh, what's that? Let me try that. Let me try this.
Yeah. Oh, it
That-
doesn't work. Let me do this new thing.
One thing that you were talking about, remember where you're like, oh, skip the research phase and like just get straight into it. That also goes hand in hand with like, oh, learn from people that have done it before, or
Yeah.
like
Their mistakes.
learn from other people's mistakes. They're both, it's right and wrong. You should learn from people's mistakes, but not to the point where you're going out of your way to do research on other people's
Yeah.
mistakes. Learn from people's mistakes through your life, where you're like casually just going on your day.
Yeah.
Learn from it
But-
and remember it when you're actually going to like do the thing. But don't go out of your way and do the
Yeah,
research. on
because
it.
you personally, if you're experiencing it, you need to make mistakes. Because if
Yeah.
you do everything and you know, I look at, let's say, Ando, and he's doing something and I learn his mistakes, and if I do it perfectly, I'm not learning anything.
But you
I'm not
can't.
growing. I physically, personally, myself have to make mistakes in
And
order to
it's,
grow.
and it's impossible.
You can't be afraid to make those mistakes.
Like, you're
because,
gonna make mistakes. I'm saying, if someone did something,
Yeah.
and they did it correctly,
Mhm.
okay, now you know how to go into, but not in the, like detail.
Yeah, it's
and
not-
depth.
yeah, because
Exactly.
what works for them
Ev-
might not work for you.
Yeah, but
also.
you
yeah,
still know
yeah.
the general like
Yeah,
area
yeah.
to go into.
Yeah.
Also, it's not the same for everyone. Like, even if, for example, I do something and it works, that doesn't mean that if you do that same thing, it's gonna work.
100%.
It's
Yeah.
just
100%, but that's not what I
it's-
really mean. It's like
you gotta
see
try it
something
yourself.
that goes very bad for someone.
Yeah,
Now you know
know.
not to do that because
Yeah.
like the ROI on that was not good at all.
Yeah.
Can we talk about now when you said you joined the Discord and how, like, you know, it was like perfect kind of being in the right place at the right time?
It was 100%
Right?
being- social
Can we
media was
talk about
100%
what you
good.
said, or like there was a topic you wanted to bring up
Yeah.
about how luck plays a big role in in
You have
someone's
to-
success, whether you like to admit it or not.
I've talked about this.
I have a great take
luck,
on this.
luck plays a big role.
It's only luck if you're putting in the effort. Like if I didn't trade, if I never put in the
that's
effort, if
true.
I wasn't consistently doing the same thing over and over again, I wouldn't have the opportunity to be lucky.
True.
For example, let's say you run down a street every single day as like a morning jog. If you're not running on the street, let's say one day there's a guy on the street. He's rich. He's giving out lottery tickets.
Yeah, and if you're
And
not
you
running,
get
you're
that-
not gonna get the
And
lottery
and
ticket.
there it's happened to be winning.
Yeah.
If you're not running that day consistently every day,
Yeah.
it happens once a year.
I
So
agree.
You're gonna get that lottery ticket one time, and people could say, "Oh, you're lucky," or it could be your first day out running and you get the lottery
Yeah,
ticket.
even if people come,
It
comes
doesn't
to that-
matter.
even if sorry, I know you.
Let's go.
Even if, let's say, you are putting the work and people do call you lucky, or like,
Good.
there's been many instances where, like, you know, you achieve a success status in your life and people are like, oh, he's lucky, he's
Yeah.
one of like 10,000 people, or like he's one of 100 who got to this level in
The
life.
reason why you're there is because
You put in the
you-
work that they
you
don't
are
see,
one of
and that's
10,000
what
though.
social media does. It makes you blind. People don't necessarily see what goes on behind the work. They see you, or they see you guys. Oh, they trade from 6:30 to 7:30, and they're done for the rest of the day. But me, from the outside, who's actually friends with you guys,
you're
I
inside
see
gaming.
it's like, okay,
Yeah,
there's
you're in the
video
inside.
creating. There's, you know, the talks that we have late at night. Okay, how do I make this better? How do I adjust this? How do I reach a greater audience? How do I do conversion rates? All that people don't see. And when it does actually work, they call it luck.
yeah. And listen, luck, I think, is 100% real. Like, some people will get a lot more lucky than others, but it's something we can't control. And like, this is how I think of it. I can't control luck, so I completely wipe luck out of my like mind. Like, getting lucky is not something I think about because it's not something I can control. So me thinking about that is only going to
Waste of
bother
time.
me. Yeah, and besides that, the more you put in, the higher chance you have of getting lucky, which is like the street thing you said.
Yeah.
If I work every day on what I want to do for the next 5 years, I will get lucky. There's just no other way.
Yeah.
Like if I actually, not like 20%, not 50%, 100%, put in the hours every day for 5 years, I will get lucky. Like there's no other way around it. It's just not possible.
Yeah, I was gonna
just
make
not
the same
possible.
point
Yeah.
as you. Like you can't control when you're gonna get lucky. The only thing you can control is that if you show up and actually do it, you have a chance of getting that luck. But you can't. You have to kind of eliminate, like what you said, that luck out of your brain and just work as if there's no chance of luck.
Yeah,
It's just
because
you
can't-
have to
yeah,
do the work.
You can't work with the mentality that
I'm
gonna
going.
work
I'm
and
gonna
one day
get
I'll
lucky.
get lucky
Yeah,
and make
yeah,
it
yeah.
big.
You got it to work like, and luck doesn't exist, and then luck will hit you like that. But you at that point, you still have to treat it like work, and you did all of it. But luck might play a factor, but it's just when you're working, you have to take that out of the equation. Like you have to think of it as in, I did everything that got me to this point. Even though luck could have been a part of it, I'm doing everything, and I need to do everything to get me to where I want
In
to
your
be.
power.
I think
Exactly.
mentally you're at a better place. Like even if you're, I don't want to say lying to yourself, but kind of lying to yourself, and you're just kind of not believe that luck is a thing in a way. Like in this instant, I'm talking about like success and get like reaching a good level of just income or whatever your definition of success is. But yeah, for me, it's just completely take that out because that's not gonna help me in any way. Oh, I got lucky. Then you feel like you haven't put in the work. Oh, I'm not getting lucky. Then you feel like, what am I doing wrong that I'm not getting lucky? Why me? It's just like a victim mindset either way, and it's just not good. So I just take
And
it
then
out.
Let's
whenever
talk
you
about
and then,
that.
and then whenever you real quick, and then whenever you lose something or something goes wrong, you're like, oh, you can't be like, oh, I'm unlucky. It was an unlucky thing. You can't. Then you're starting to choose and
Yeah.
choose what is lucky and what is unlucky.
You know what
but
came
you
to my
can't-
mind right now?
Hmm.
Trading, instead of trading time for money,
You trade money for time.
you trade money for time, exactly. Because like at a certain point, it's like a plateau. Like right now, I'm plateaued.
Hmm.
Physically, I don't have any more time to do what I'm doing to grow. Like let's say I'm stuck right now at 40K a month.
Mm-hmm.
He's stuck right now at 40K a month. The only way to get out of that again is to pay someone to do the labor, not the labor, but like the dumb tasks, the useless tasks that you were doing
Mhm.
before. For example, for me, I don't want to take calls all day. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna hire people to do calls for our mentorship program.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to handle with clients anymore that much, so he could actually spend time onboarding people. The onboarding process, that process is more important than actually the labor part of it.
There was remember I don't know.
That's like the next level entrepreneurship.
You
I think it's like
remember-
level 2.
you
Yeah.
remember that podcast you sent me with Chris Williamson and the other guy. It was like the one you said to read.
Oh,
once,
he's
like,
cracked.
twice.
He's cracked. Let me get
The
him.
guy said it. He's like, yeah, pull the link up and let them know. But the guy said, get a hat,
Mm-hmm.
right, and put all your daily tasks in that hat and rate it on a scale of 1 star to 4 star. 1 being the least important, 4 being the most important that brings you the most money.
Mm-hmm.
And go through that hat, right? And as you pick those tasks, rank them, and all the 1 stars and the stars that aren't making you money, you should have someone else
Outsource
to
it.
outsource it, because that allows you to focus on doing what brings you the most money, and at the same time have enough time to grow and expand, and then
Mhm.
again
Dan Martell.
delegate and
Bro,
Also,
that
he was
guy,
cracked
Dan
too.
Martell, he taught me so much about expanding your business. Listen, I have never heard a podcast that gave me more like information than the one with
Oh, it was
Chris
insane.
and Dan, just because I'm at the point where I need that information to grow and expand. And it was so correct.
That was
Yeah,
Yeah, Andrew, go.
So yeah, I wanted to also talk about this. So what they're saying is 100% true. Like when you get to a level where you truly don't have time, which most of you watching this, you have time. Like bro, realistically, you have time. It's very rare for someone to not have time. But for example, we were talking about Devine, where he's gotten to a point where he truly needs to delegate some work because he just doesn't have any time. Right, his work week is so packed. Don't think that's you, because a lot of the time I feel like you could use your time so much better. Like I was talking about myself last podcast where I was saying, oh, like I'm a full-time student, I'm a full-time trader, I do social media, and you know, I'm starting to think about, oh, maybe delegating a little bit of work. But the point is, I know I can use my time so much better, like even with what I'm doing right now. And like I think that's another thing. You guys are right, but a lot of people who are gonna watch that and they're gonna think, oh, let me delegate work. They're just
Only when you don't got the time.
No,
I
you-
mean, look, realistically, because
Yeah.
what he said, you are working at a 70% capacity. you could actually do a lot more
Oh yeah.
in your day
Yeah.
and be a lot more productive than you think. So now, for example,
lot of people
someone might be watching. They're like, okay, I work 6 hours a day. I hit the gym 2 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
I do this and this and this. I just don't have time. Realistically, if you manage your time more, you might have another 2-3 hours.
Check your screen
free.
time and you'll know how much time you have.
Yeah,
Exactly.
literally open your
Check
phone.
your screen
That's
time.
what I was gonna say. Like 100%.
I
8
think
hours.
I think like the way it works is like your first 10K a month is made from hard work, like just working hard, not like you paying someone to do your work, whatever. I mean, you can't do that, but I think it's the first 0 to 10K is just you working hard and putting the right efforts towards the right things, and then the next 10 to 50K or even 10 to 100K is made off of delegation, like what you guys are saying, putting money into other stuff to the side for our teams to handle what you're doing. And that'll help you build to that next level, that 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 80, 100K mark. And then once you get to that point, it's just building a team for you and
Dero, why'd you just
learning
run off?
and learning how to run pretty much like a full-fledged like company of a whole team, like handling all the different portions of the business. And from there on out, I mean, I haven't been to that point where you're making $100,000 a month. But when I get to that point, I'll figure out what the fuck to do next.
I heard that quote too, or like that saying where, okay, the first 10, 15K is just hard work. After that is delegating, doing what you know works, and just expanding.
say 10 to 30.
Nice.
Well, and it matters on the
Crossroads.
business.
Obviously, yeah.
It matters
I
on the
think-
business.
You can make 30K a month so light work trading. Just buy a bunch of accounts, use code Dero, and you'll be chilling.
Hey, bro.
Was
Bad
using the
advice.
podcast to boost his own sales.
No, but
But
it
again-
matters. Yeah.
So I have heard that saying too, where okay, the first 15 to 20K is hard work, depending on the
30K.
business, as you said.
Yeah.
But after that, once you have the capital to kind of quote unquote throw away or to reinvest into your business, you're able to really delegate and reinvest in a way where, I forgot. It just blanked.
Reinvest it so you can actually grow.
Reinvested where you're actually able to grow,
Okay.
and that's what I really understood once I started making around 15K a month, where I was like, okay, I'm gonna take the next step, really put that capital into, because I was chilling. I was like 19 making 15K a month. I was like, dude, this is the best thing in the world. Like, I have so much money.
And then you got a warehouse.
But then exactly, that's where it was, where I was like, okay, I'm gonna learn how to reinvest. We were actually talking about this. Where I
Yeah.
was like, dude, I was netting zero after reinvesting all that into this new place. Where again, taking that hit, but I had that capital to play
Now
with.
you have like almost 100
Now-
clients.
Now, exactly, that's where you actually see the growth is once you learn how to delegate and reinvest into your
Yeah.
business, which is actually one of the most important things most important skills you're able to learn is because if you don't learn how to reinvest, you're not gonna grow.
Yeah.
Real quick,
Also,
Real quick, very,
no,
very, very
it's
quick.
right about him. Wait, it's about what he said. That's 100% true. And I think like in-person businesses, like businesses that are like not run online, are a lot more like that. Even business that you're running online, you're obviously at some point going to start needing to delegate. But for example, in your scenario, like when you were making 15K a month, you had to start, expanding. And also you started like, I guess, delegating a lot earlier, as in getting coaches and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But for like someone who's running an online business, it's a lot more possible to go all the way to like, for
50K,
example,
yeah.
like, I don't know about 50, but like 20, 30K. And then after that is the point. But I honestly, not that I can't think of, but it's going to be very hard to run a in-person business that's making over 20, 30K a month and you have no workers, no nothing.
that's
That's like,
100%.
Oh no, that's
That's,
very-
like,
no,
not
you have
possible.
to, you have
Especially
to.
if you're selling a service. If you're
Yeah.
selling a service, that's a lot harder than
yeah.
selling
Also, one more
products.
thing that I was gonna tell you: hiring people isn't the issue. It's just how well you can teach the person that you're hiring.
We talked
Because
about
there's
this.
talked about this.
there's no perfect person to hire. Because when you're hiring someone, they're all the same person. It's just how much information they know. So if you could hire someone and then teach them to be the way you want them to be, you're fine.
But what if they don't want to learn?
Okay, then you fire them.
Yeah, that's
But
that,
then
that's the
they-
whole thing.
No,
where
but
we
then they
talked about
shouldn't
is-
apply to work anyway.
Or
You don't want that type of person that doesn't want to learn. You
well,
you want people that
I
wanna learn.
hire because I look for longevity, because of especially people who want to be in the field and work in the field, because that's how I'm gonna get the best ROI and people are
Yeah,
with
but
us.
you can't
longest.
base it off of the first interview. You gotta like.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Everyone puts on a show, bro. I did when I got my like job
when you
at
wanted to be friends
GC.
with us, right?
Uh-huh.
You put on a show when you wanted to be friends
Okay,
with
bro.
us. Now we're 7 years in. We're like, damn, we messed up.
7
Wrong
years in.
choice.
All right,
Wrong
No,
choice.
but bro,
Alright,
no
big
one
dog.
is fully themselves in an interview. That's just
Well, not just that, you can't tell what type, like a person's work ethic.
Oh,
from
yeah.
the interview.
You know what's funny that I just thought of? I was gonna, this is what I was trying
What?
to say.
Yeah.
Is your income, if you guys are familiar with trading, your income is like an uptrend like channel right? Like it goes up and it goes down, it goes up and it goes, but it's constantly like the average is like going higher,
Yeah.
going up and down, up and down. Like
Yeah.
you make more money, okay, I need to delegate after losing income a little bit, and then I come down. But then I make more money, I make even past the previous high, go higher.
I kind of get that. Yeah.
But we're
It's like
hitting-
an
that-
uptrend channel,
but that's
like
like
it goes
month
up,
to
down.
month.
I don't
Yeah.
trade.
We're hitting consolidation zones and then
No,
yeah,
this
catching
month
reversals.
I'm break even. I have a feeling that February I'm gonna be
even?
break even.
No,
January
it's
was
pretty good
insane.
for
I
me.
withdrew 30K from Apex.
30K is
No, but
good.
February's gonna be trash. I'm gonna like
Okay,
5.
let's talk about
That's
we
the
talked
game.
about as far as taking that first step, getting it going, consistency. What about cutting distractions and being able to make those sacrifices?
So
Because-
what about it?
One of the
Because-
hardest thing to do.
What is
One
a
of the-
sacrifice?
I
Spending less
think
time with family.
especially since we're so young, we had to sacrifice socially
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot
That's
in a
the thing,
way.
yeah.
To be
No
able
parties.
to really lock in, and I think especially our target audience,
Also,
a lot
that's
of
not a
them.
sacrifice. We just don't like parties.
It is no, it is.
Yeah, but
If-
for a lot of
okay, if
people
you
it
go
is.
to a regular college
Oh,
student,
for them to sacrifice.
It's-
For us, it's
it
like,
was a
oh,
sacrifice.
fuck that shit.
No, you like it
Oh.
more than us, bro.
Okay. For
Nah.
us, okay, it's a sacrifice for them, but for us,
but
like,
this
we don't like that.
because especially for our younger
Doesn't bother
audience,
us.
I mean, I think we're targeting a lot of younger audience, right? Am I wrong? Because
No,
we're
for sure.
growing, we're getting older, and we're kind of sharing our experiences as far as we've learned on our paths. Being so young and having to lock in is such a key and fundamental aspect of actually being able to achieve something at such a young age. Because we've all noticed it. I mean, we've all experienced it. I don't want to say it on podcast because if my parents end up watching this, they're gonna be like, "All right, you were drinking." But like, let's say we go to a party, we drink, we have fun, this, that,
Drink water.
drink water. Your next 2 days are ruined because you're recovering. You feel slow. You feel sluggish. You can't go out, stay up until 2 a.m. having fun, come back, go to work. 8 a.m.
Also, a
next
lot
day
of
and
a lot of
grinding.
things that people don't understand is that working hard, making it shit like making a lot of money is fun for us. Like bro, going out drinking,
Yeah, it's
partying,
not
that's
fun.
not fun for me.
That's
It's not.
Listen, in the middle of it, you're like, what am I doing?
Yeah,
dog?
like
That
the
was
look around
actually
moment.
Yeah, you know
insane.
when you can go in
the
third.
moment of realization.
You know when you
you're
can go in third person point of view, like in
You're like a
games?
GTA character and you're just like
Exactly.
walking
You
around.
do
and
that to
what's going
yourself.
on? Like
you just look from an outside point of view, just standing in the middle of like a bunch of people. You're like, what the hell are you doing, dog?
Well, because
Walk
we
outside.
we were at we don't party, but I think it was someone's birthday we went to, and then people walked in. Was it vodka or tequila? they had the drink in the middle of the floor and they're dancing around it.
Oh,
We're
yeah,
sitting
yeah, yeah.
Calling
outside
them
like
out on
50-year-olds.
4K.
We're sitting outside like 50-year-olds. Like, bro, what are you doing?
We're talking about how we can scale to 40, 50,
yeah,
80K.
we're sitting there talking.
And they're just like,
good is
Hey,
crazy.
yo,
No,
hey,
that's
yo.
crazy though. No.
No, but I think, bro, the biggest thing, not only parties, but
What?
this.
Oh yeah, shorts.
This.
Oh my god.
What about
Short
shorts?
form content.
No, I was saying, no. Oh, yeah. Basically, I'll say this is your biggest distraction, but it's also your biggest tool for success, right? It's all in this tiny little device right here. This can make you a shit ton of money, or it can make you not make a shit ton of money. It's all about how you use it and how you like leverage your devices and leverage your tools that you have.
Good boy, you take that jacket off. I like
it
that.
actually got hot
bro.
I
in
Oh,
here.
like
yeah.
that. Take
I
it
turned
off.
on the heater, but I don't think it's
should put
working
this-
until now. Hold on, let me go back to the list that I had. Wait, 1 sec.
Also, like working hard shouldn't be hard.
Oh,
for
okay,
you.
let me
Like,
ask you
like
this.
working hard should be fun.
Okay.
I think to a degree.
Working
gonna be
hard.
points
at
That's
where-
so much fun.
I think there's gonna be a point where working hard isn't. There has to be a point.
Like
there's-
some days it's annoying.
Yeah, some days.
Some
that's
days
a
I hate
That's a discipline. part.
Sometimes I hate work.
Oh yeah, some days I'll just be like, this happens a lot. Like whenever my alarm will go off to get up and like look at the charts, even though like I know when I get up and I actually turn it on and like 5 minutes, 10 minutes goes by, I'll be like, okay, I'm ready. Sometimes, bro, when you haven't had a good sleep, I just want to like turn that off, throw it to the other side of my room and just sleep.
Oh no, waking up isn't the issue. It's like, oh, do I really have to make a video today on YouTube? Because I made myself post a video 3 times a week for the like forever now.
No, for me,
So
I
now it's like, do I have to post a video today? I'm like, I have to now.
yeah, for me, I can sacrifice like food, water, anything, but I need
Oh,
my
here's a
sleep.
controversial one.
My
for you guys.
sleep, I need
Here's a
sleep.
controversial one.
Yeah.
Sleep, yes, you have to sacrifice sleep number one, but not
No,
like,
that's not
to-
what that's not what I'm saying.
Not to like crazy like 3 hours a night. 5 minimum for me. The one thing you guys are gonna disagree
I
with
need
is
7
family.
at least.
You have to sacrifice spending time with family right now. Like in my opinion.
I will disagree. Not family, but relationships. as far as
No.
boyfriend, girlfriend.
No, that's important though.
No, family's
That's
more
your-
I think
important.
family's more important at this age.
To me,
That is your family though.
It's not.
My girlfriend is my
but
future
yours
wife.
has been for 3 years. Now, us who aren't in a relationship, I mean, obviously finding the right person and building with them, it's ideal.
Yeah.
I would love to have that. But if I'm actively trying to go out and find the girl, and it's just gonna be a
It's
distraction.
like, bro,
So
it's,
I'd rather
it's gonna come up and
sacrifice
happen.
that
It's
for
not
an-
gonna happen.
Wait, but I don't think we don't spend that much time
Bro,
with family.
I mean, like,
personally-
oh, like once a week, you like you go to a cousin's house, do this, do like
No,
stuff like that. Like I don't
disagree.
go.
I disagree.
Yeah, but I don't think that's. I don't think.
I don't
that's,
have the
I don't
time
think that's
to
a
go.
necessary
I'm very
thing
close to my
stopping
family.
someone.
Bro,
from
No,
it's-
I'm
success.
close to my family too. I hang out with them when they come over, but
what
I
is
don't.
that
I wouldn't
stopping
go
you
there.
from? If I go out on a Saturday
I have stuff
night
to
for
do.
3 hours with my family,
When you're first starting out for like the first 2 years, like you just gotta sacrifice. it,
my
like,
family gives me
like
great
spending
advice.
less. spending
bro,
less
I don't
time.
agree. There's so
disagree.
much time. Literally, take your phone out. Look at the amount of time you're scrolling on TikTok and Instagram.
Most
Cut
of it's
that
me
out.
making it.
Huh? No, cut that out and spend a little. I'm not saying spend 24/7 like with family,
Also,
but
like I'm in my room 24/7. That's also what I mean.
bro, well, I am too. But when my dad comes home from work, for example, I go out and I chill with him for 20, 30 minutes, and I
Oh,
go
yeah,
back to
that's
work.
Different, yeah.
Yeah, but if he
Damn.
does that
That's
every day-
time.
does that every day?
Damn.
That's 3-4 hours.
Yeah, for sure.
But if I don't,
I'm
if
not.
I don't
I don't
spend
hang
time with
out.
my family every day, but I do one day for 3 hours, that's the same thing.
It's the same thing. Yeah, that's
'Cause I
another
don't-
thing.
I think
Oh,
this
family
or like-
is
or like-
very important, bro.
I just think those little, like 3, 4, maybe 5 hours in one day of the entire week.
I'm not saying
is
it's not. I'm not saying family's not important.
No,
Bro.
I
I'm
know.
just
I'm
saying like
it's that's,
oh,
I'm
it's
saying
like
that's
your
not the thing.
it's like your little cousin's birthday and like all the kids are there. Like dog, you're 20. You don't need
Well,
to go
okay,
there.
I
Yeah, that I agree. I don't do that
That
either.
is
I
a
mean, it
waste of
matters
time.
if
Like,
it's
bro,
a
they're
real.
at Chuck E. Cheese, bro. What are you gonna do at Chuck E. Cheese?
My drop shipping
Partying.
cousin,
Yeah.
the little one that called me, his like I'm very close with them.
That's
I go to
different.
that one.
Okay,
But
that's
if I have a
different.
cousin that I haven't seen in like
a year,
yeah, then it's okay.
Okay,
I don't have to
that's-
go to his
that's what I'm
birthday.
talking
I
about.
mean,
Yeah.
again, there's a balance. Yeah, I agree. But again, I'm very close
That's-
to my family. You've called me like, well, let's do something, or like, let's get on do call. Like, let's get on call. Let's do work. I'm like, bro, I'm at my family. It's like, I'm
That's
very close to my
different.
uncles, so it's like,
bro.
to
Like
me,
I
that's,
go out with my family like once a week, every like Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah,
now
that's what
I
I do.
will.
I'm
I
not
will
that
argue
close.
Okay, there you
again.
go. You just said you go out once a week.
Once a
every-
week. No,
It's the
once a
same
week.
thing.
Once a week, but like it's random.
Listen,
Like 1 week I skip it, 1 week I don't. Like my
Okay,
parents
yeah,
go to
well,
my
I do that
that's-
too.
that's
my
how it is
parents
for
go to my
us.
grandma's house. I skip it for that week because I'm just like grinding. I'm like doing all the back end shit I need to
I
do.
skip family.
I'm
last
back
week for
testing
this.
whatever.
like
there
for
is.
example with my like uncles stuff like that. Not that I'm not close to them, but like I know Davina's a lot more close to his uncles than I am. But I spend a lot like instead of that, like I don't mind not going to my uncle's house. Like that's not a thing for me. I don't really mind it. But
It
with
depends
my
how close you are.
with my mom and dad, I spend a lot of time
That's
as much as I
different.
You're
can.
closer to your parents
I'm
than
not
I
talking
am.
about like
Huh?
mom and dad.
You're closer to your
I'm
parents.
very
than I
close
am.
with my
I'm
parents.
very close to my parents.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about like mom and dad. Though. I'm talking about like extended family.
Yeah, extended family.
That's what I'm
Being
talking about.
honest, some people I'm close with, but it's like again, you are a lot closer with extended family, and I think I'm more closer with my parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, now we talked about that sacrifice. As far as the other relationship sacrifice, as far as finding a partner. Now we always set it as a monetary kind of goal you wanted to reach before you you went out and actively looked for a partner. You guys agree with that? Now, because I remember Aris, you said like, oh, once I start making 10K a month, I'll
I know we had this conversation like many times.
We had this
different
many
points.
Years ago, bro.
I will say like my point has definitely changed like from like a lot of the time like in terms of like I need to make 10K months before I start looking for a girl, this that blah blah blah. I think in the end I think we can all agree like you can't really exactly control when all that stuff happens. Of course, like God has his like time.
I'd rather
like,
be
putting
broke with a
situations.
girl and then me and her build it up together because that's literally what happened.
Yeah,
say
but
it again. Hold
Yeah,
on.
okay,
I think,
ideally-
hold on. I think he said
I-
the same thing twice.
I
No,
know.
no,
I know what he
I'd
tried to
rather
meant,
be
though.
broke with a girl and then build myself up with her.
Oh, I thought you said
You
I'd rather
mean-
be broke with the girl.
You mean you'd rather be
Over.
broke with a girl than build and have her join you like later?
100%. Why would I want a girl that joins when I have money?
bro,
See,
it's
of course, yeah,
God's
I agree.
timing.
I would want
God's
to.
timing.
All of us would want to have that situation where we're building with a girl
100%. Yeah.
and growing with that, but like you
Because
just
you
can't.
said I want to have 10K a month before I get a girl. No.
I mean, you can have that. Like, you can have that if you really want that to happen. Of course, you can like make that a priority. Like, okay, I'm gonna look for a girl, but you gotta understand, like, looking for the girl also takes time.
I
as well.
got
It's not-
profitable
it's not
the year
easy.
I started dating my girlfriend.
But also, I don't think you can
was
be
18.
looking. Like
Yeah, I
that's
think
just
you
my
could
opinion. You
I
can't be
get that too.
looking.
You can't be
But
looking.
if
You just
you're
gotta
not,
be open. Like,
I mean, you have to be open. 'Cause
You
if-
can be, you listen. You have to be pursuing, but not looking. So like, if there's
Yeah.
an opportunity there, you can pursue. But you can't
100%.
actively go look.
Yeah.
I think also if you're in an environment, let's say you're sitting in your room all day, you're probably not gonna find like a
Dog,
guy
go to
that's
the
the
gym,
problem
bro.
with us.
You gotta,
dog.
like,
Bro,
go to
I
the
go
gym.
to the gym. It's a sausage
Go to a
fest.
different gym.
It's a sausage
Gym,
fest.
gym.
Go to
You
a
go
different gym every week.
Gym,
No,
you
see,
try it out.
that I don't agree with as far as me switching my gyms to go to potentially find a wife. My gym is so convenient for me. It's 2 minutes from my house. I have a lot of good friends.
It's so convenient. That's why you're gonna stay single.
No, but as far as when we're talking
Single
about,
uncle.
when we're talking about time
Single
and money,
rich.
I'm not willing to drive. The nearest closest gym is like what?
to
20
potentially
minutes?
find a wife.
No,
Oh.
A wife. I think what
Well,
you're saying.
not
A wife.
Not a wife.
Then
but
wh-
I just don't think
Driving 6
it's
minutes
worth
extra
a
is worth a wife.
40-minute drive round trip for me to.
Hey, can y'all all rank him out in the
potentially-
comments, please? Like, this is actually absurd.
We
To
need to get off this topic.
potentially
It's getting
find a
long.
I- you're long.
That's crazy,
What do you guys think about that?
I think
bro. God's timing.
Oh,
I think-
God's
yeah, I
timing.
think
But
you
would
just-
you drive 40
just-
minutes
No,
extra?
it doesn't.
I
Let
wanna
me put
talk
it like
about-
this. No. Wait. Pause. Listen, if I see someone like whatever I'm doing, and I think she's good looking, I'll approach her.
There
Oh,
you go.
shit. But
the
I'm
gym.
not. I don't agree with you. Like when you're like, oh, go to a different gym. I'm
Because
not getting
God
up.
could put the perfect girl in my gym. Right? God's timing.
God's
honestly, we don't
timing.
know. It could
God's
be, it
timing.
Could not be.
Dog, what if they spawn on like a different planet accidentally? Like, oh, moon.
At this rate, we're going
Accidentally?
Oh, Mars.
Okay.
Yeah,
But one thing,
yeah.
listen, one thing I really think that you guys we should talk about is the stages, like our mindset
Look
when
at
we're
economic
first
stage of
starting
the world
off
right now.
as like an entrepreneur, like the early stages, because so we can relate to them. Because right now, a lot of them probably like in the early stages of like, what do I do? How do I start? All that stuff. What was our mentalities when we were first starting off?
We talked about it. Just
Doing
take that
everything.
first step.
No.
You will have
yeah.
nights.
That's not what I mean though.
You will have nights where
You're crying.
I'm speaking from experience, dude. I have personally, like at night, just been lying in bed and like just tears rolling down my eyes,
Same.
just because of the amount of stress or like stress I have. What if this fails? What if I'm doing something
That's
wrong?
not starting.
That's
It's a good.
That's midway.
You're
That's
really, you're
midway.
talking
I think-
about something really good.
You're
But-
talking
Yeah, we
about
can
when
start-
you've made when you're making a good
Like, you're
amount of
already
money,
kind of
like you're at
overestablished.
10K a month, and you're like, holy fuck, you're like, oh my god, I'm at 10K a month. How do I go next? And like, okay, what if I could start going down? Like, what am
think-
I doing? There's
Yeah,
so
yeah,
much-
listen.
yeah,
more
like
so-
now I have
think-
those nights now.
I think more so, yeah, you're talking about anywhere. I mean, it could be anywhere from literally like month 6 where you're not
That's
making
middle,
shit, but you're
though.
putting in work and it's
It
not
is.
working. From month 6 all the way to like 10K month. That could be anywhere that period.
Huh?
But
Talk slower. I'm so confused.
I'm saying that thing you're saying that he was going through like, oh, my bed tearing up. That could be from the point of when you're at like the 6-month period where you're doing work and it's not working out. Like 6 months and doing something, it's not
We're
working
talking about
out.
6 months. Where is this coming from?
Listen,
you
let
first
me
starting off.
I'm saying when you're first starting off,
First
you're
starting off
saying,
was like 2 years.
okay, but okay,
no.
no.
I
First
think
starting
I
off
can
2 years,
answer.
I think it's
like,
a little longer than first starting off.
First starting off is the first couple of like
think
weeks.
First, I thought that's what you
Nah.
meant.
That's
bro.
what I'm thinking.
First
Like
couple years.
I'm talking about the first year of you starting your entrepreneurship journey.
Okay,
Like,
I think
where
years
were you at?
vague.
Entrepreneurship-
A lot of stuff happens
wait.
that first year. It's got to be focused on like the first 6 months because the first 6 months is whenever
Wait.
people just transition, new thing,
I
new
got
thing,
you.
new thing, new thing.
I got
Right,
you.
continue, I'll
So,
say this.
are you saying when you're starting your entrepreneurship journey as a whole, or are you starting on something specific? What's
Both.
your question? Okay, in my opinion, if you're starting your whole entrepreneurship journey, you've never tried to sell anything, do anything, whatever it is, just try a lot of things.
Yeah, you're young.
'Cause-
You can.
No, literally, there is some things that are just not. I don't want to say not made for you because that's like a weak way to think, but there are some things you're gonna naturally be better at.
Yeah,
Like,
100%.
so you got to try a lot of things at the
Like,
start.
I genuinely believe if I didn't do day trading or anything, I'd be a really good salesman. Like,
Yeah.
I'd be in sales.
Now, this is another thing where Ars was kind of saying like the first 6 months you might try and not hit something. You might be maybe even net negative on what you first started off with. But again, this kind of goes back to that same podcast we watched, which but we keep bringing it up because this was such an
it was
insane
such
talk.
a good podcast.
I have
where,
to
like,
watch it. I haven't watched it.
When I tell you what, I'm kind of
Because
like
it relates when like you're at that max capacity, you don't know what to do next. That it helps you like when you're at the max capacity.
because
If
Very
you're just
interesting.
starting off, like it won't make sense to people.
But when you're starting off, just
Do it.
like those racehorses Like they have the
Tunnel vision, dog.
yeah tunnel vision, but what like they have those like little
yes,
blinds so
yes,
they don't like see anything
I
else. They're
don't
just
watch horses.
focused.
I don't know.
Bro, you've seen what
Okay,
you're
but
just,
this is the thing.
I
Where
don't watch horses.
don't watch
oh,
horses.
when Big Bear, we
Who is
saw
a
it when the
horse?
horses had this
Just kidding.
thing.
I don't know.
Okay,
what they're
but
talking
you were
about.
Me
saying
and
6
you, bro.
months, you might be net negative, not making anything. Just know if
Comment
you're
below
putting
who's the most
100%.
handsome on this podcast
one
right
day-
now. Who is it?
Bro,
What do you say?
No, what did you say?
you said somebody about handsome. Bro, is not handsome.
Where
Well,
you might even be net negative on what you've put in,
Negative.
but eventually
negative.
it's gonna reach a point where luck kicks in, your hard work kicks in, God kicks in, and it'll just hit. This happens a lot in marketing where people are advertising, they don't get any leads, any closes in the first 3 months, and then all of a sudden, the 4th month, they get a 200% increase in their business or 50% increase in their business.
Also, like another thing to just understand, like this, you should have this mindset going into it. Whether you're trading, whether you're, let's say, drop shipping, whether you're selling a service.
A male actor.
If you're not getting any results, you're doing something wrong. Like, you're just doing something wrong.
I
It's-
disagree. I disagree.
You're doing some. If you're not getting any if you're not improving for a
What's your
s-
definition of result? Is
Result-
the result like 100 followers on Instagram?
No, no,
'Cause
no.
That's still good.
No, my point is within a 6-month period, if you're actually putting work into something, like no bullshit, you're putting in hours every day for a 6-month period of time. I'm not saying you should be at the dream. I bought a $400,000 watch, but you should definitely be seeing some sort of progress.
Yeah.
If not, you need to change something because you're doing something wrong.
Because
You gotta learn how to
like
adapt.
after like if you try something and it doesn't work, try something new.
Oh
I thought
no,
so.
no, no, no.
But you said 6-month period. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
no.
Hey, you should learn to adapt. I think all
Who's
business.
talking about adapting, dog? We're talking about like
Changing.
getting.
Changing.
That's what he's talking about.
What?
He's talking about like
He said
if
you
if
should
don't-
be able to know when you should change things up and try something new in order to make it work.
if it's not working for
All
you.
business
didn't hear
owners,
that part.
all entrepreneurs should have the skill
Hit the
of
little-
even if something is working right now, you should have an open mind of always changing.
Oh yeah.
No,
Like right
Because
now, for example.
market conditions change, economy changes, generations change. There's new trends. If you don't adapt, you're
Also
not gonna,
analyze data.
Yeah.
Like right now, I'm at a point where data analysis is very important. Specifically, like trading wise, yes, data analysis is crazy, insane. Back testing all the data you possibly can, getting every single data point for your specific strategy and multiple entries and exit points. That's very important. On top of that, what I'm doing with the mentorship program right now, the whole way it's set up is my dialers dial people up and they book a call. They book a call through a Google Meets link.
I was about to give all the free sauce.
No, they book. I don't care. Bro, they book call the Google Meets link and they hop on call. What I'm telling them to do is, okay, when are you calling them? Okay, they put their information in the doc. When do they put when do you call them? Oh, we call them like next week. Okay, they just went from a very warm lead to a very cold lead.
Oh yeah.
leads
So
are very
the,
important.
The
in sales.
same day that they like put in their info, call them because the conversion rate will be a lot higher because again they just added their info. Like I want to help people. I want to get people to learn trading. I want to get people to actually understand how to backtest and
This
shit like
was in
that.
the podcast too.
So that doesn't matter.
No, the
I want
topic.
I want to teach people how to actually do it. So if someone's giving us their info to contact them the same day within the same hour.
Oh,
Why
yeah.
waiting until next Monday, bro?
Yeah.
That,
Also,
also that's a lot of data analysis too.
Yeah.
I'm telling them to check every single like aspect of the whole program.
another thing literally exactly matches that in a complete different scenario. Like we're talking about sales calls, like when someone fills up a form, they're warm lead. At that moment they want that service.
Yeah,
So it's
exactly.
a good point to call them. When you think of an idea and we've all had this, and I'm sure
The
a lot of
3
you
a.m.
guys
motivation.
have. Yeah, the 3 a.m. motivation. You're like, oh, I want to do this.
Do it.
And like
Do
I have
it.
to sleep.
Do it.
Do not wait. Don't wait more than 24 hours.
God
like literally.
puts an idea in your head for a reason.
Oh, yeah.
It's like he just drops it.
Oh yeah. And no.
And he doesn't. When was I heard
Why-
this yesterday night?
You think God's a he, not a she?
Okay, bro.
That's insane. Okay,
Bro,
cut
there's
that
this.
out. But
th-
this
What's
is
wrong
actually-
with you?
Sorry.
I'm acting a liberal.
Acting, or are you
Acting,
one?
or are you-
And you're acting like.
Act like you're not.
I'll come with blue hair next podcast. Don't worry.
I'll do green.
Hulk.
Okay, no. What are you talking about?
Thinking about how God airdrops ideas
Yes,
into your head.
I actually heard this last night. I was kind of
Airdrops.
scrolling. It was a supply drop off card, but I was scrolling on my phone
What?
mindlessly before I fall asleep. Something you shouldn't do. But he doesn't plant a seed.
I do it, but you don't do it.
He doesn't plant a seed in your head, knowing you're not able.
Capable.
able to put water on it for it to grow.
capable of achieving it.
Yeah.
You said
Nice.
seed.
I
I thought you were gonna
stuttered
go to
just
the
like-
to
No,
plant.
100%.
Let me rephrase
You said
that.
put the seed. I want to plant.
Hold on,
like,
There,
hold
okay,
on,
stop
hold on. I
interrupting
stuttered.
me,
Let me
bro.
say it again.
kinda
A
fast.
God doesn't put a seed in your head that he doesn't know you are capable of achieving, and like watering that seed and making it flourish into
You
a
just
full-grown tree.
stole my line.
And I have this thing I
I
want to talk about. Are you guys done like with this topic, or are we
Yes.
still going?
Are
this
you
week?
done
Okay,
with this
one
topic?
thing-
Yeah,
I
no,
wanna
go ahead.
point out-
I
it's
want
a
you guys to
little-
finish. Yeah.
It's a little it's a little adding on top, but we need to get this guest off the podcast. He's just
another-
a deal
he took
with
another
interrupter.
hit.
This guest is crazy.
Hold on, show
Yes.
him your
Yeah,
little
get the
mini
guest
guest.
off the podcast,
He hit
bro.
guest. He hit this real quick.
What are you
What?
flexing?
Let me hit one actually too.
Hey, we need smelling
It
salts.
smells like
I won't put it in my
soap.
nose, though.
What is wrong, bro?
Bro, bro, you know what we need? Smelling salts.
Catch.
Smelling salts are insane.
Bro, I was gonna
I told
say-
you guys I tried it like one time,
I've
right?
done it too.
Bro, like I had the ones that where you pop. I popped it here, and I'm like, oh, I don't
That's
feel it.
pneumonia.
No, but the
Yeah,
ones where
it
you
is.
pop.
Yeah, it does pneumonia.
Why did my friend say smelling salt?
It's because pneumonia is a smelling salt.
Okay, well, okay, there you go. No, bro, I thought I like when I was here, I was like, I don't smell it, I don't smell it. My
You
friends
put it
like,
right
my
here?
friends like, just go. I'm like, bro, I was panicking. That was crazy. It felt like my hair froze, like right here.
Okay, hold
Bro,
on.
one
Ars
thing
was
I
gonna
really
say
want to
something.
improve
Wait,
on is
Ars
going
was
to the
gonna say
gym
something.
consistently. What?
I was
Oh,
gonna
we'll
say
get to that
something.
topic. Hold up.
Okay, there's this one, bro. This one poem that we read in senior year of high school.
Great.
Like it just stuck to my head.
I didn't
like,
go to high school.
there was I never really liked English class. I'm not really English. I'm more of a math geek. I'm more of a math person.
Same.
Nah,
I
you
like
guys know
English.
my English class in a sixth
So
grade.
let him say it.
No.
Let him talk.
My English, no, my teacher in 5th grade during English class, because bro, I was new to the country, I couldn't speak English well. She basically told me I'm like not gonna be anything.
That's
She
What?
basically,
Still aren't
she
anything.
basically told me I'm gonna be a failure.
How?
Miss Benjamin.
How?
Miss
Miss
Benjamin.
Benjamin.
How? What'd she
Disrespect.
say?
Bro, basically, so this is what was going on. I couldn't read, and I wasn't getting too much like better at reading, and she told me to keep reading. And bro, I always hated reading. Like even when I was like I didn't have good English. I mean, I just hated it. I hated reading, right? And bro, because of that, I wouldn't do my reading logs, and she figured out that I forged it. Like you know the reading
just
logs where
fake
you
it,
would just
dog?
think, yeah, but she saw me do it or something like that, and like she's like, yeah,
Hell faker.
you're already doing that. You're not gonna. She basically told me I'm not gonna be anything. So
Are you anything?
Miss
Damn, bro
Benjamin,
took that
Are
to
you
heart.
someone?
Miss Benjamin.
Are you someone?
I don't know. I have a Rolex, maybe.
Anyways,
Maybe.
okay, let me wrap
Maybe.
up what I was saying so you guys can go to the next topic. In high school, I never really liked English class, whatever, math geek. Our teacher gave us a poem to read for the day. It was called Dreams Deferred. I forgot exact like words or whatever. You guys can look it up. It's a very popular like poem, short poem. It talks about if I can remember correctly, it's mainly about how the more you put off your dreams, the less they become significant to you, and the more they like stop to. Are you good?
I just laughed because I'm trying to not make any sense. Like, I'm like, you're just talking. Okay, go ahead, my
Hold on,
bad.
hold on, hold on.
Does
Ready
it
to do this?
dry up? Does it raisin in the
Does it catch?
sun, or feaster
Does it
like a
catch?
sore? Is that
Is that the
it?
quote? Is that the poem?
Bro, it's dream deferred, right?
Dream deferred or something.
Yeah, pull
Does it?
up.
Okay, dreams deferred. Does it dry up like
Why
a
is he
raisin
reading?
in
Hold
the
on, why is he
sun?
reading?
Let me read. Let me read.
Or
Actually.
fester
Bro,
like a
let
sore.
bro
Or
read.
fester like a sore.
Says,
And then run.
What happens to a dream deferred? Does it dry up like a raisin in the sun, or fester like a sore and then run? Does it stink like rotten meat, or crust and sugar over like syrup sweet? Maybe it just sags like a heavy load, or does it explode?
Heavy. Nah, sags like a heavy load is crazy. And then explode.
Oh, bro, how does that relate to what you were saying at all?
Oh, yeah.
Bro, we were analyzing it back in senior year, like kind of relating it to
Sag like a
raisin.
raisin explode.
We were relating it to
What did you
how, like,
analyze?
for example, that raisin represents a dream, like dries up and whatnot.
Are you
if you let it
sure?
go, dries up and just like it's like a dream, like whatever plan you had. It's like someone's trying to has like a plan to do. Oh, I'm gonna get rich. I'm gonna do this. I have this plan to do this. I have this dream. But then when they're like, no, I'll think about it later. I'll figure it out later. I'll work on it later. Blah blah. Blah. Over time, that just like they don't even think about it anymore, and that dream's gone. Like they don't work on that dream, and over time,
maybe
Also,
it
it's gone.
sags
stop.
like a heavy load.
No, also,
Like dries
Or
away.
does it explode?
I'm not saying don't put it into the universe. I think you should, but stop telling everyone what you're gonna start, because you get the dopamine hit of already starting. Like,
and already doing the
yeah,
task.
you already feel like you've done it, and then your brain just automatically just doesn't want to do
Bro,
it anymore.
we've
And
all-
you're
It
not-
doesn't
you're
make
not
sense, but
motivated.
it's just how it works, bro.
Bro, we've all like been victims
I've
of this.
done that.
Like,
Oh, but, bro,
100%.
I'm gonna start my mentorship program. I'm gonna do this, and then I didn't start for like 2 months.
And
So
when
I
you
got the
don't, and
dopamine
when you
thing,
don't
yeah.
do it, you look like an idiot.
Yeah.
No, then like when time passes, you're like, what's wrong with me? Then
Bro,
you're like crashing
Oro,
out.
you told me I'm gonna have a YouTube do this. I'm like, have you done it? No, I've done it. No, and now you're doing it. Good job.
I don't remember what that was,
Yeah,
but
but
yeah.
there was-
Really? I remember. So
My
so
quote,
vague.
I-
YouTube,
again,
do it now.
for
I'm
some
not-
reason, I mean, both topics or like both podcasts we've had, I've had a quote on my like wallpaper on my home screen to like kind of thing it.
Mhm.
It says, "Work in silence, let success make the noise."
wow.
Okay, bro.
So deep.
Brother.
But again, it just kind of, I'm not one
Let's go
to
get
go
Dave's.
out.
That shit would smack right now.
I'm not one to go out. You shouldn't be one to go out and tell people what you do, unless if you're like on social media, which that's how you build a following. But you guys literally didn't know what was going on here until you guys actually came for the opening.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
facts.
And so,
You're mean for that.
especially, I mean,
My
my
bro
business
rolled
is-
his eyes. That's crazy.
I mean, but again, it kind of just applies to all aspects in life because if you say you're gonna do it and you don't do it, you look like an idiot. But if you don't say you're gonna do it and you do it, you look like a fucking G.
Oh yeah.
You look like a G.
badass.
Badass, brother.
What
brother.
a gangster.
What was the quote? You said you had a
badass.
quote. Was it you? What you said you had a quote?
No, I had a complete
I
different
got it.
topic,
You
but we're
said you had a
talking
different
now.
topic,
I had a
yeah.
different topic.
You deleted it?
No, they're here.
Have
They're
you
here.
ate Hershey's?
This
I'm
is
gonna ask you.
no,
Hold on.
no.
I'm gonna ask you every podcast. Have you ate Hershey's?
Ever since I shook your hand now.
Okay.
Okay, good. Okay, this is very like off topic, but how do
My-
you guys? I want everyone to answer
Pause.
this.
My girlfriend was gonna get it for me for Valentine's Day, and I knew she was gonna get it, so I specifically told her, "Hey, if you're gonna get me Hershey's, don't get it, because I made a deal. I can never eat Hershey's again." And she's like, "Oh, well, I was gonna get it." I'm like, "No, you can't get it anymore." She's like, "Oh man." Okay,
Yeah.
you know what?
So this can be like answered pretty quickly, but
You're fine.
what is the habit that got you to your success? If you had to put it
You
into
said it's
one or
ye-
two words and simplify it as much as possible, what is it? Like the habit that you started actually putting to work every single
Not
day.
caring and just doing.
Okay.
Literally,
Nice two
like
words, bro.
No, that
What-
works. That's two
I'm just
things.
kidding, I
Yeah.
know.
not caring and just doing. You
Yeah.
don't care about what the outcome could possibly be. You don't care about what people think. You don't care about how it's gonna end up. You don't care about, oh, is this sustainable for 5 years, 7 years? Just do it.
Yeah.
Not care and just to do it.
And-
Because the second you start caring, the second you start overthinking,
Yeah.
the second you start doing more research about the topic, and then you just start getting overwhelmed with how much stuff there is that you don't know. And then now you're like, oh my God, there's so much stuff I don't know. What else don't I know? And then you keep doing research. And by the time like you finish doing research, you're unmotivated to do it because of how hard it is.
Yeah.
Instead of just starting to do it.
Yeah, and if you start, you're gonna go through some of those hard things without even
Exactly.
noticing. Then you're
Exactly.
like, oh, I've already done this much. Why not
Reading
continue?
about the hard things
Yeah.
makes it look so much scarier than actually going through
Yep.
it.
I would say for me, I would say two things, like 4
Mhm.
words: deep focus and no distractions. Literally, like as it says, deep focus, which is just like strict focus towards one thing, not just short-lived focus for 30 minutes, but focus like as in like hours and hours of doing one thing, and not just like, oh, do one thing, distraction, blah blah blah, do another thing, distraction, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
What do you guys laugh at?
Nothing, bro. Just go ahead.
Distractions.
Yeah,
Distractions.
distractions.
Distractions. See, focus.
But thing, not to cut you off, but I have a question.
Yeah.
Don't like, isn't that very hand in hand? Like deep focus and no distractions.
Yeah,
Because
that's
if
what I
you're in
said.
deep focus, you have no.
That's why I said together. Like no distractions. I mean, I think the no distractions part I meant something towards like a long term thing. Like deep focus is the short term thing where you're focused towards one thing for hours and hours on the day, not getting distracted here and there on the phone. But the no distractions I meant towards a long term thing. Like, oh, don't get distracted by the next shiny thing or the next shiny thing, the next shiny. Just do one thing long enough. Have focus on it every day, day to day, because that deep focus will kind of put you in a compounding state, like almost like a snowball effect, where once you get that act going of putting in the work, and staying focused and getting your work done, instead of just getting distracted, pulling up your phone, and then getting zoned out and going back to having the focus back on. At least this is how I am. I have to stay focused towards one thing. Stop dancing, bro.
What's
We're
going
getting
on?
Dave's after.
Dave's, they close at 1 a.m. here.
Oh,
yeah, Dave's.
So-
You guys
Ow.
just ate.
Literally, we
You
just
can't eat again.
I'm not eating.
Dave, that's again.
Look at that.
That's again.
Listen,
Then I'm big.
no,
No,
that's
But
go
yeah,
ahead.
so
Not
it's like
big
a
like
snowball
those.
effect.
Shut
like,
up.
Sir, I
you
bench
s- you stay-
315 for reps.
cap.
You stay focused.
2 reps.
Shut your ass. Can I say?
What happened to being defocused, bro? Focus.
Yeah. Okay. Shut up.
Yeah,
Let me focus.
shut
There's
up.
distraction in the world. You gotta
Distractions, okay,
focus.
take
Listen,
these two off the
on the
podcast.
distraction, you gotta focus. Lock
Alright,
in.
So basically,
You gotta
it's a
lock
snowball
in.
effect. You gotta stay focused, do the work, and it compounds, compounds.
Good
And then the
boy.
result, you get zoned in, your kind of productivity rate increases by 2-3x. At least for me, that's how it is. The more focused I am and staying on one task longer and longer, the more efficient I am towards my productivity on that specific thing. And then I get distracted, whether that's short term or long term, that could set me back like months because like,
Go ahead, bro.
God, bro. I see them like peripheral vision, bro.
I'm looking at you. I see them perfectly. Go ahead.
And then, yeah, it just distracts and sets you back. But okay, now.
Yeah. So for me,
yeah.
yeah, I'll go about it. No,
boring
no,
when I
no,
don't
no.
talk.
Don't let him
Listen,
talk.
No,
Don't let him
for
talk.
me, it's a little bit like I thought of the question completely differently. So I have to think of it. You guys are talking more concept. For me, it was like actual things that I do. Two things. It was literally just stop scrolling pointlessly, and besides that was just writing down what I have to get done in a day, not what I'm gonna get done, not what I think I could get done, what I have to get done, and that helps me with not scrolling consistently. I've really noticed this. I've been actually practicing this for months now. Where when I write down things that I have to get done on a daily basis, it literally helps me. Like I've noticed this. I'll be on my phone, right? I'm scrolling and I'll notice, oh, I have my notes app of things that I have to get done for the day. And that literally just gets me off of scrolling. So like, that goes hand in hand for me.
But
And
writing down your goals
it-
is actually OP.
it
I
has
wrote down
been- not
like
goals, like
5
things I have to do.
Yeah, same. I
Yeah.
wrote down 5 things I had to do
Yeah.
by 2025, and I
Yeah.
did all of them by the beginning of December.
Yeah,
Do you do it
writing
on a
your
daily?
goals down.
No, not daily.
Why?
Every quarter.
You should
I
try
think he
daily as
meant,
well.
like,
I'm
planning-
at that too.
I think he meant like kind of scheduling your day in terms of structuring your
Yeah.
day. So when you go about your day, you have.
Oh
a
yeah, I have it
structured
on my
day.
calendar. I have time frames for every single thing I have to do on my calendar.
but, like,
What?
every day is booked to the hour.
Wait, for
Good thing to do.
us three, I mean, Davin, I'm sure he has like something as well, but for us, I can literally name what I'm talking about. When we're live on TikTok, right,
Yeah.
in the mornings, and you get off, this has happened to me, I'm sure it's happened to both of you as well. It'll sometimes happen where for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, you just like, I zone out, because like I've been talking for so long, I've been so focused on the charts, I get off and I zone out.
Yeah,
and
you're
I'm like,
socially drained.
yeah, I don't even know what's going on. But when I have my like I use my notes app. I know you guys know Notion as well.
Yeah.
I use Notion on my computer.
I use Notes app too.
Yeah,
I use
notebook is
Notebook.
good. I want to start
Because
writing
I
it down.
like actually
No,
crossing
you
it
need to
out.
stop using a notebook. Bro, you can't
Oh.
control F and search for what you were looking for like
I
in the
didn't
past.
see it in front of my face.
Bro, it's
No,
a
you have to
calendar.
swipe. You have to go
Control
through
F.
pages,
F.
bro.
Bro,
Get this Gen Z guy out of here.
yeah,
Bro,
no, but
I'm not in front of the computer. all day.
definitely that thing
Phone.
has saved me so much. Just
Yeah.
brain dead like
Here's,
hours.
Here's
like,
a tip
yeah,
for
it's
you.
crazy.
Look,
'Cause-
everything is on my calendar. Every single task I have to do, I go to my calendar. If I have the live stream in the morning, I put the exact time, everything. Like if I have a meeting, I put that exact meeting because my calendar, it's right there. I open it, it's the first thing I see
Yeah.
when I'm on my phone.
Does this
so
happen
it's
to you-
so helpful.
Does this happen to you guys? Maybe not so much now, but like maybe you didn't do as much work. Like even the viewers, you guys too, if you can relate. There might be a night where let's say you didn't get as much work done, but then the night comes around and you realize, oh shit, I didn't do this, I didn't do this. Okay, tomorrow I have to do this, this, and this. Hopefully I can get this done. That's the time where I think you should like plan. I think you're about probably gonna say
Yeah.
this, but that's the time where you have to plan out your day. Like that night of that specific night you plan for that next day, because at that night you know exactly what you should have done for the day and what you didn't finish and what's like a priority for the next
And-
day.
Going to bed, keep a notebook next to you, so like when you're sleeping, you
Oh,
just
what
write shit
happened to
down.
Control
Oh,
F?
yeah, facts.
Notebook?
I have to
No,
control
but
F.
no, then you transfer over the information.
No, but
Isn't that
one
just a
thing,
waste of time? And if
No.
you're wasting time, you're not making enough money.
Ooh.
because time
I'm
is
teaching you how to
money.
delegate.
Listen,
Yeah,
okay,
you're
no,
saying-
one thing to kind of go up on that. Wait, what were you talking about? Say it.
I was saying taking notes, writing a plan at
Yeah,
night.
oh yeah, at night. Listen, this is another thing. It's happened. Honestly, this happened to me a lot when I was like maybe 4 years ago or something like that, where I would plan on things I have to get done in a day, and I just wouldn't. Like I was a lot more lazy than I am now, and I just wouldn't get it done. And what I would do, I noticed this a lot later on, is what I would do is at the end of the night, I'm like, oh, tonight I didn't like do what I'm supposed to do, so I would be kind of annoyed about it. But then I would sit down and be like, okay, for tomorrow I'm gonna do this. And that would like feed my brain like the happy. I would just start feeling like more accomplished, even though I haven't done anything. But planning for the next day would make me feel more accomplished, and I think that's really, really bad.
Now,
Oh, really? So
'cause-
about
'cause
opposite of what I'm saying, basically.
Kind of kind of opposite, but at the same time, not opposite. My whole point is,
Like it made you like accomplish, like didn't want to do the work.
it
because you
made
already
me
wrote
it made
down,
me
you did it.
already feel accomplished because I'm planning to do
Oh,
some
okay.
to do something. So what I would say is, if you like I still have days like this like throughout the week. Shut up. I still have days like this throughout the week where I won't like get everything that I'm supposed to get done. That's fine. I'll own up to
okay,
it. Like
let
I'm
him
not
teach.
happy when I'm going to
Yeah.
bed. I'm not
Let them
sad,
teach.
obviously, but I'm like, okay, like you could have done better today. And I make
That's-
myself understand that, so I'm not getting a BS
Yeah,
dopamine
that's
hit.
another thing I've also like seen on like heard a lot as well online and experienced it myself. All right,
I want to talk.
Okay,
Hurry
let me
up.
finish this.
Bro, I've
do you-
been losing my mind. It's
is,
making noise.
is that you'll never finish your to-do list. You'll never get everything you done that you want to get done to the 100%. Yeah, you'll do a lot of it. Maybe some days you'll be 50%, some days even 80%, but there are
Stop
going to
it.
be times where it's not going to be 100%.
Yeah.
And you just got to be okay with that. Like, that's just reality. Emergencies come up, things happen like that you can't account for.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you have to be okay with that. You can't beat yourself up because you didn't hit 100% of the time, didn't complete your entire to-do list, check off every single thing. If
No,
you do
I
good,
think it's good if you beat yourself up because then you're holding yourself more accountable next time you don't do
Yeah,
it.
I
You
mean
can,
that's
but
kind of what I do a
that's
little bit.
good, but I feel
Like
like
you beat
I-
yourself up, so now the next day you wake up, you're like, okay, if I don't do something, I'm gonna be so
Yeah.
disappointed in myself at night that I didn't accomplish the tasks.
That's
so
my
I
point.
have to do
But
it
you
now.
should-
Shouldn't
yourself
go
up.
to bed like really happy if you failed to do what you plan to do that day. I'm not saying be again sad.
Bro,
Yeah.
make your future self proud.
Yeah.
Boom.
Also, think of it like
Alright,
this:
TikTok boy.
if you
I
were,
made that quote up.
if you were to have, for example, someone that you're mentoring, right?
Yeah.
If you have like you're mentoring someone and they tell you, "I'm supposed to get these done in a day," and they don't, how do you look at them? You're like kind of disappointed.
I'm like, dog,
Yeah.
I did it. Why don't
Like,
you do
why
it?
not?
Yeah, why not?
If you can look at yourself
I
like
did that.
that,
One of my
no,
mentees
wait,
in the-
wait. If you
Good
can
boy.
look at yourself like that,
100%.
you'll get it.
For
Yeah,
example,
you'll
one of
get
my
it.
mentees in the program,
Yeah.
everyone in the
might
program
know something, actually.
finishes at least a year of back testing by our next call.
Mhm.
One of the students was like, bro, so much time, man. I couldn't finish it. I'm like, what do you mean it was so much time?
why could he do it?
I'm like, why was so much time? He's like, bro, like I was on there for like 2 hours and I only did like 4 months. I'm like, I just left it at 4 months. I'm like, you think 2 hours a week is enough work to become profitable? He's like, bro, I didn't have time. I'm like, okay, open your phone up right now. He's like, okay. I'm like, go to settings. I'm like, okay. Go to TikTok. Go to your screen time. Okay. Dog, 5 hours a day on TikTok. I'm like, okay. Even if you spent another 2 hours of that a day, you would have done like 5 years of back testing in that time, in that 1 week.
5
span.
months, you mean?
5 years.
5 years?
And bro, he would have finished a year every day for 5 days in a row.
Now let me
So-
tell
And
you
then
this.
and then that sparked in his mind. He's like,
Oh, that's-
oh shit. And he's like, does anyone else do this? I'm like, bro, every single person in the program is required to do this. You're the only ones that never done it.
Yeah.
And then that pissed him off to where he's actually supposed to lock in.
And you,
and now he's doing
sorry,
good.
I'm gonna cut you off
But
one more time.
you have to do that in your own brain.
Yeah, but this is also another thing.
Yeah.
And this is like a whole concept in my brain, but the reason why it'll be a lot easier for your mentee to go ahead and do that because you've motivated
Because
him
you
is
have
because
his overhead.
no, there's expectation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I'm getting up and like when I was getting up and I didn't have a mentor and I'm trying to like back test, study the markets, trade the markets, look at the
Yeah.
markets, I could have just slept in and no one would tell me why you're not doing
Yeah.
it. So if you're trying to build something for yourself,
Also, there's a luxury of me being, for example, right now I would consider like, well, I'm at the top and telling like people at the bottom like what to do. That's how people like look at it, right?
Yeah,
Because I'm
in a way.
profitable, I'm up here, I'm making the money, and then they're down here like they're still
you're their
learning.
mentor, yeah.
Wait, there,
Again, mentorship bias. If you're at the top, it's easy to look down and tell people what to do. That's like again, mentorship bias. If you're at the bottom, you're the mentee, and you're learning from the person that's telling you what to do. It's hard for you to actually understand and trust that person, even though they've done exactly what you want to do. Like, and they're at where you want to be.
you see,
It's
actually,
hard.
And
there's a
that's the
specific-
hard part about entrepreneurship.
It's
is
blind
keeping-
faith. It's like believing in God. It's blind
It's
faith.
that and keeping yourself accountable for all this stuff because again, when you're saying like you're an entrepreneur, like or the mentorship overhead, like easy for you to
You
keep
have to
all
have
the
blind
people
faith in
accountable.
yourself.
Exactly. You have to be able to keep yourself accountable because that's another big thing we don't talk about is you having to, get up every morning the days you don't want to get up and all that to actually make it work.
Well,
It's
I don't-
going back to that
I
consistency
hate it when
topic.
people say, "Oh, it's hard to wake up in the morning at 6 a.m. Oh, it's so hard to wake up early." I've been doing it for 5 years every single day. It is the easiest thing just because I'm used to it.
Yeah, it's
I hate it.
habits you create.
I can't, bro. I can't if I wake up in the afternoon or if I wake up like at 10 a.m. or even 7. I feel terrible. I'm like,
Yeah.
bro, why did I not wake up at 6? I feel so off.
I
That
don't
was my-
agree.
back to the
That's not
thing-
for me. It's not like
back to the
that.
thing you were saying
I-
about like the mentorship, real quick. Back to the-
Pause.
Yeah.
You haven't done it long enough. Continue.
back to the
Bro,
back to the
my
thing you were
pants is
saying
so
about like
cold.
the being in mentorship bias about how you know so much and like people down there trying to tell them this and that, expecting that they would understand all this that. There's this thing I read like a few weeks ago, whatever. It's called the curse of knowledge. It's like a fallacy, whatever you want to call it. Basically, it says that whenever you learn something and you understand a topic so much, you start to think like everyone else also kind of has that same amount of understanding as you and understands it to the same amount that you do. But that's not the truth,
100%.
right? Because you're only you can, now that you've learned so much, you kind of know more about the perspective that you have only, not
Exactly.
from back like a year ago when you
When you were
might
just
remember
starting,
a little
yeah.
bit of how you understood back then, but not as much as you do now. Now you're more so
Exactly.
focused on how much you know. So it's called the curse of knowledge, because you know so much, you expect everyone else to have like the same amount of knowledge as you and understand it as good as you do, but it's not like
Can we talk about? I mean, as far as being starting off and young entrepreneurs, and a vision you have for yourself, the importance of working and acting like the person you want to be, as far as
Yeah, you gotta make your future self proud.
lifestyle-wise.
Yeah.
Not like that.
No,
Like
he's saying like fake it till you make it type.
Yeah, you
fake
gotta
it to like, cause I would
what
walk
does
into
future you want to do and act exactly how that person is.
exactly,
Or what
or
do
like
you
the
want your
vision
future
of
to look
yourself
like?
that you have.
Exactly.
Because when I was pretty small still, but I remember this clearly.
Still are pretty small.
Oh,
No, I would no, not like that,
No,
not
that's
physically, but
crazy.
as far as business wise, when I was still like pretty small, had one location, but I would get up, make myself a coffee. Like I felt like I was a boss of $1 million company. Pull up to work in like a nice jacket, my notebook, my laptop in my hand. Walk in there, be like, "Hey, what's up? How's it going?" Like I put myself in that
Yeah.
mindset of I'm running $1 billion
Yeah,
company.
bro
Yeah.
thought he owns this 4,000 square feet warehouse or something.
Exactly.
It's
like-
hard to do that when I'm in my room all day.
ooh, okay. This
Walk
opens up
in
a
the
can of
room.
worms.
But
Wake
I
up
think,
out of
I
bed,
think
I'm the
once you
man.
put yourself in that position and you actually, again, this kind of goes back to manifesting and
I was gonna bring
speaking it
that up.
into reality, and putting your conscious thoughts into your subconscious, and eventually it'll happen. It's all interlinked together.
I
Yeah.
took what you said completely differently, right? Like, oh, like believe like you're the business owner, you're the $1 million business owner. I'm thinking more towards actions. Like, what does the future version of me that's making like 100K, 500K a month,
Do
what does actions look like that I have to
yeah,
replicate?
you have to act like that.
Yeah,
too.
Yeah.
that's
Like
what I got
if
from
my
it.
future me
Yeah.
is valuing his time over, I mean, if my future self is, let's say, working instead of like going out or all these sacrifices, I'm gonna act like that because
No, I'm talking about like, okay, future you, for example, he has 7 different locations. He's a manager for each location.
Okay.
Every week, instead of having to go to each location personally, all you gotta do is call up the manager. Hey, what's going on? So you, as a business owner, now have less tasks to do, even though there's more going
do
on.
you think that's the
The
right thing
only
to do?
task you have is to call up the manager or the person that's working here that's in charge. Hey, how's it going? Give me a quick debrief for 15
But
minutes.
is that the right thing to do, right action to take, and hire a manager if I'm still small and able to look at the place
Like right now, what's
Right
the
now,
max?
yes.
What's
Right
the
now,
max
yes.
capacity you have in here?
as far as what?
Like
Kids?
how many clients at once can you have?
9, 10.
Okay,
Officially
okay,
10,
okay. For how many hours a day?
8.
Okay, how many each hour?
9 or 10.
No, like is each session an hour? How long
Yeah.
does each session last?
Yeah.
Okay,
On average, okay, it's not. I could. Fit
what's the
9, 10.
max kids that could be in here in one day?
Probably 80.
Yeah, like
80 one day
70.
going in and out. Okay, can you do that by yourself?
No.
Okay, manager. There you go. And also, when that happens,
Now I can't. But 2 years
Exactly.
ago, when I had one location, I could have managed. all that.
exactly. But again, manager comes to play, and manager can be one of your best workers or your employees.
No, I understand
Exactly.
that. No, I agree with
So,
that.
what is
but
future you doing? What are the actions?
now?
taking?
Yes, now that
slowly
would
build towards that.
now that could be the actions I take
Exactly.
because I'm in that position. But 2 years ago, me,
Yeah,
I was
100%.
not one in the financial situation to hire a
talking about
full-time
now.
manager. Yeah, or nor I was in like actual workload wise where I needed one.
Yeah.
But now, yes, those are the actions I should be acting upon to be able to reach the person or reach that that vision of myself that I have set.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, I think you should also really focus on, for example, for you, you really know, just get a location, build it up, fill it with clients. That's what
That's
you're good
it.
at.
And that's
That is
yeah.
what you're good at. That's what you do. So when you want to get your next warehouse, hopefully soon, that's when it would probably, in my opinion, be a good time to get someone who's, running things around here. And what you focus on is going to that new location, hitting the new spots, getting it started. Getting it started.
This is what we were kind of going back off. Okay, you pick the hat, what's most important, what's not most
Yeah.
important, and then you do what you know is best in order to bring most money in.
Also, for your locations, I think before you open up a new location, make one fully AFK. Like this, before you open up a new location, make sure this is at its full capacity
Yeah.
before you buy a new one, and with the manager in place,
I
so
disagree.
you can comfortably go to the
I
other
disagree.
location. Why?
I took a risk on this place.
But
and I
this is your
made it
first
work.
big location. Other ones are a little smaller.
The reason I say that is, I mean, again, I'm looking at in an investment type of way. Because my goal eventually would be to, expand statewide and then eventually sell it
Okay,
off.
but you can't sell it unless you have managers in place.
Okay, yes, okay, obviously, but
If the business needs you to run, it's not a business.
it's not that. This is another thing that I learned was, if you are the face of your company and if you are such a big and valuable employee, where if you take yourself out of the position of your business
It crumbles.
and it crumbles, you don't have a business. You have a high paying job.
I agree.
Okay.
Because if I'm looking, for example, to sell my business 5 years down the line,
Mhm.
someone comes to buy my business. One, they're going to look at the revenue of how much I'm putting into my pocket a month.
Of course.
But two, they're also going to look at the different aspects as far as billing, scheduling,
The
managing,
structure of
all
I
it.
that,
saw
the
this-
structure of it. Hold on. The structure of it, and how each piece plays a particular role in the business and how stable the business is.
That's to be a machine.
If one of those pieces were broken.
Yeah.
But so if I'm doing the business, if I'm doing the billing, the scheduling, the meeting with clients, the intakes, the marketing, all that, if I take myself out of that position and I completely go AFK, my business is done for.
Yeah.
Well, there, that investor. I sent you podcasts. So that
This
guy
is
was
literally the
talking.
same
Yeah,
podcast.
he was talking. There's an investor. He was gonna buy out his business. Okay. He's like, hey, how much are you gonna worth my business for? Let's say he said $100 million. He's like, why so low? What the heck? And it's like, and then he came back a year later. He made it so he's not running it anymore because he was running most of the things in the business. Because if he sells a business, that guy buying it has to have everything in place. So he's gonna buy it for less.
Oh yeah.
But by a year later, only a year later, he got valued for 5x, so 500 million. The only reason being that he's not involved in it anymore.
This kind of goes back to me having to take my own advice sometimes. But
Exactly.
if you're able to also, let's say you're doing all this stuff, the 5 marketing, billing, scheduling, intakes, all that.
Mhm.
If you're able to delegate that, it allows you to bring new stuff
Yeah.
into your business and test out, and then see how it's gonna benefit and help you grow.
The one thing I noticed is all of us know exactly
What we need to do
Mm-hmm.
to get to like
Everyone
100K
does.
plus.
Everyone
You guys,
does.
hold on, but this is the thing.
I think everyone
Just
does.
doing
Do
it.
you
Like we
guys-
could be we're very good at being our own mentor. Just doing it.
Yeah.
But do you? I mean, I think eventually, like when you're in a particular field for so long, you learn and you know the right steps to take.
Yeah.
But now let me ask you, or all of you, why aren't you doing it? I know why I'm not doing mine.
Why?
Part of
Fear.
it's fear.
Yep, fear.
Part of it's fear. I'll admit that.
I'm
'cause
doing mine. I'm
scared.
taking steps to do mine right now.
What is yours?
I purposely blew up a
no,
bunch
no,
of
not
accounts.
the steps. Not the steps.
What do you mean? Why I'm not
why
doing
didn't
it?
you do it for like 2 months?
Because I was scared to make less money. Because if I blew up
Scared.
my accounts, that means 1 month of no income from trading. And then also, if I want to do that alongside my mentorship, like canceling the mentorship and revamping the whole mentorship, again, that's 1 month of no income from mentorship and no income from trading.
Hmm.
So it's like nothing for a whole month, and that's the scary part. And that's what you have to do again, where it comes to like breaking down and going back up. So I blew up all my accounts, all my 50Ks, because I was only making like 20 with that, 30 a month with that. I couldn't make a lot. Now I have two 50K accounts. I could do double the risk. So with that, I can make potentially 60, 70
Yeah.
a month just from trading.
Yeah.
And the mentorship, same thing. Instead of doing
Yeah.
one-on-ones, I'm doing one-to-many. So
Yeah.
that's like the.
You know what I
thing
thought,
did.
and I thought this idea I didn't see this online or whatever. It just popped up into my head. That's crazy. If I was like, huh?
No,
You
don't
and
worry
me.
about it. Keep going.
I was like, if you could clone yourself and have that version of you like run your business and do everything for you, like literally be like your employee or like your assistant, that you can have them do whatever the hell you want them to do.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What would you tell them to do? Like they can run your business, do your tasks, do everything you need to do. What would be the list of and you had them for example 1 month.
So like a bot Ando.
Bought Ando, basically
That'd be
second
so
bought
sick.
Ando.
Stream for me.
What would you tell them to do?
So I would have it stream for me. 100%.
Basically, what I'm trying to say is everything you'd have that bot to do for
You do
you is
yourself.
what you do
Nah,
yourself.
that's not what I would have him do.
What do you mean?
What would you have him
Oh,
do?
what do you think, bro?
No, that's not what I would have the bot do.
What would
What?
you do?
Bro, he's hitting bank robberies.
Okay, bro.
Yeah, but then you're getting in
But then
trouble.
you're the
How?
one getting caught after
Cause
a month.
it's a clone of you,
Let him
dog.
get
it's like a-
caught. It's a bot.
Okay, but it's not like that.
You're actually
bro.
like a bot.
Okay,
I'm like,
okay, I want to go back
you're
to
the actual bot.
You're-
I mean,
I was saying more so as in like this version is supposed to replicate you. It's just you're imagining
I
as if
get
like
it, I
you have
get
an
it.
employee of your business, employee of you that can do whatever you're doing, do all your work, and do everything you need to do for you. But it's not you doing it. What would you tell him to do? Now you have to treat yourself as if you're that employee of your work or whatever. Give yourself the task, plan your day, tell yourself you need to do this because if that employee says, "Oh, I slacked off, I didn't do what I didn't need to do today, I got
Fired.
lazy, whatever," screw you.
I
You're gone.
didn't do it.
Now,
I
the
didn't
two
do
But
it.
if it was you, you'd let yourself like be okay with
Yeah,
it.
and it's the accountability thing. When you have a job, you have to do what your boss tells you
Exactly,
to. But when you're running a business, there's no boss.
There's no yourself.
Who's gonna tell you?
That's like one of the biggest things. I made a video on that too. It's like a really big topic that a lot of entrepreneurs need to understand. Is self accountability is completely different than what you have in like a job field and the business field. There's no sense of accountability from someone else when you're in the business realm.
Oh, yeah.
You have
There
to
is.
you have to keep yourself accountable to
It's not
to
the
a
same.
degree. What
that
part of it?
accountability for me is pressure.
Mm.
As far as that pressure keeps me in check of the life I want to create, the family I want to raise, pressure of my family's eyes on me. The example I'm trying to set for my younger cousins, my younger siblings. That's the accountability for me. It's not necessarily a person with a higher status in a position in a business or thing. That's what
I don't get the pressure. I don't get the pressure
Yeah, I
because
don't
right
either.
now, because bro, like theoretically, I should have the most pressure because, bro, everyone at my little cousin's schools talks about me and what car I'm getting next to everything, asks about me to my little cousins. My other cousin, he goes to school. Everyone knows me there. So like if I
Who cares
do,
what
if,
10-year-olds think?
no, but if I do something, it directly it will affect him. If I do some
Oh, yeah.
crazy shit, it'll affect him. Oh, your cousin did that.
No, but that-
whatever.
I think it's not
I-
a different type of
the
pressure.
pressure should
This
be
is
on
not
that
the
for
same.
me.
Yeah.
The pressure should be
This
on
is
like
not
on
the
that for
same
me.
topic.
I
because,
think he was
again,
talking about
like,
a different type of pressure. He was talking about
Really?
the pressure
That's
of
what I
building his
understood from it.
future for himself.
I related that
early
to me.
on.
That's the pressure for me. But
What's the pressure for you?
building that future for me and
It's not
creating
about
the
pressure of,
opportunities
like-
for my family and
I don't see that as pressure. I just as opportunity.
Yeah, but
let's
this-
do it, bro.
this
Let's
is the
grind.
thing.
Let's do it.
As
But it-
Devine,
There's no pressure in that.
as Devine, who's let's say right now making 30K a month, right? For example, this is a good example. If you're making the amount of money where you're able to do everything that you want in life, like obviously this is a very specific example, there is a chance that you will get lazy, and we all go through this. Like when you hit a level, you kind of start feeling a little bit more comfortable, and you start to slow down a little bit
Dog,
because
I got my M8.
yeah,
Oh my God, I
you'll
got
get
so
into
lazy.
it. I know you had like the biggest story about this, but it's just there's no one besides maybe if you're friends like us. I think we keep each other accountable
Yeah.
mostly.
which
So
I tell a lot
yeah,
of people. Like I'm very blessed
yeah,
to have friends like this.
Yeah.
Because especially in our generation,
We forced him
growing
to
up-
open up a credit card. He was like 20, by
Alright.
the way. He's 19, 20
Alright.
years old with no credit card. We had to
Alright.
force him to do
I
that.
did
by
not-
the
no,
way.
I did not remember
18,
that. How did
bro.
you
I was
No,
like
I
18
did.
and a half.
No, me and Ando were like forcing like,
no,
bro.
he was running a
please.
business and he
With
didn't
that
have a credit
using
card.
the debit card. I'm like, dog,
Yeah,
taking advantage of the points.
Oh, I got that much money. I'm joking.
Leverage that.
But
Leverage that.
I think another topic we can kind of shift into is surrounding yourself with such
oh yeah,
important people. Because look, out of this circle, we have like one or two other friends that we count as close.
Actually,
I
well,
got
okay, you
zero,
kind of opened up
dog.
another. Finish your thing and then I'll
But
bring
because
up what I want to say.
especially in this generation, it's so
I say we
hard.
keep this for the next one.
Not yet. We'll wrap. We'll
last
finish.
one, last topic. Let's go.
We'll talk about fear about the
That's
next one
topic.
because I have a big
Yeah.
thing I want to say about fear, but I
Yeah.
think let's talk about this and fear and then we'll end it.
Like, what are the 2
Oh,
hour
I'll
mark?
talk
on?
about one thing too.
What are we at?
One thing.
What
Okay,
are we
Devine,
at?
say your thing. Devine, say
You
your
can
thing,
talk.
and then I'll say my
How
thing. and
much?
we'll wrap it up.
130. But it'll
134.
edit down to like
130.
120, 116.
Devine, say your
Yeah,
thing,
talk.
and then I'll we'll go
So
over my thing. and
as far
finish
as
it.
you got to surround yourself. I mean, people say this so much, and it can be so cliche in some instances, but I've been telling people the reason I've reached these heights or the reason we're all kind of elevating together is because we all hold each other accountable. We all push each other.
Like,
to,
I just want to be better than all of you.
Dog,
you're
let it finish your
not
sentence.
tall, bro. You're not. So again, kind of going back to the fear thing where me and Derek kind of just related upon that idea of taking that next step because we're scared.
Nip step.
Nip step.
Next
step?
Okay. God, you need
You continue.
You need
What time
Dave's.
is it at
You need
night?
Dave's.
It's 11 o'clock at night.
You need Dave's.
Is it?
Yeah,
Damn.
10:45.
Okay.
The most important thing to do is just have a good quality group of people around you to constantly
Am I
push yourself.
quality?
You're good quality. Yeah, I would say that. Yeah.
Like that.
Good
A
quality.
good quality people around you to always push you and not just like do this, but you push yourself because you know that they're your friends. For example, like Aura said this
I
once.
can't imagine you making more money than me, or you guys.
I
Like,
do though.
No.
Okay. In his head, he's
No, like,
thinking about future
if
version.
Ando makes more money than me, like I'll probably kill myself.
Let's go band. Let's go band for band though.
Okay, no. For example, back to what like
You can't have the yacht before me, dog.
Okay, listen.
I don't
Aura's
want a
told-
yacht. You got.
Aura
You got
told
the
me this a
yacht.
while
Jet.
ago. Aura told me this a while ago. He's like, bro, like, I wake up, I see Dero posted 3 videos. I'm like, oh my god, I need to post 3 videos now because like it's
Amazing.
constant, just like trying to like
Who
one up
improves?
each
Who's doing
other,
better?
and it's not like holding accountable to the point where like if I don't do it, he'll get mad at me. No, like if I don't do it, that means he did more than me today, so I can't let him do more than
Yeah,
me
you just
today.
feel
So
like
I'll do more than him
you-
today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's constantly trying to just
You
like
just feel like a bitch.
It's also you gotta understand like
BITC.
whatever you're doing, you're also playing an influence to your friends too. Like all of us are playing and like literally what you said. I'm looking at you post videos, so you're kind of influencing me. And if I
Yeah,
post
get
one, you probably
married
see me,
now.
I'm influencing you too.
100%.
So all of us influence each other to a point. So we have to hold ourselves to a
Yeah.
standard. So we all hold ourselves to a
it's like a
standard. So-
domino.
exactly. If one of us starts slacking, they're like, "Oh, he's slacking. Oh, he's a little slack. Oh, but almost 3.
That's the type of friends you should have, because those are the type of friends who are gonna push you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And once you realize,
Real friends will
people-
push you. Like the fake
Oh, yeah.
friends are like,
Realize.
bro, you're fine, bro.
Yeah, guys, realize.
1 quarter is better than 100 pennies.
no. But again, this kind of goes back to like that kickback we went to. We just saw that.
Did you just say 1 quarter is better than 100 pennies?
4 quarters.
I don't know that pass so fast.
Bugatti has 2 seats, guys, and both has 30.
Okay, bro.
But it's kind of
that's
Hey, a Koenigsegg has
Alright.
4 seats. Bitch.
And a bus has 40.
My
Bitch.
bus only has 2 if I take out the other 38. Okay, go.
All right, bro.
What?
Okay,
Okay,
just
bro.
go.
My point
Yeah,
being,
just go.
it's the reason you should have these type of friends around. Now, let's say you like to go have fun.
Where do they find this type of friends?
It's very hard. I think, especially I've
I don't think
had
you
this
find
We
it.
could build a
conversation.
community
Yeah, you-
later when we have a bigger audience. If like we have
Yeah.
a big youth related inspired audience.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
I'm
that'd
down.
be sick.
Also,
we
guys,
could build a community for like.
It's
kind
too
of a
soon
network
now,
for
like
that.
later.
Yeah,
Way
yeah,
too
yeah.
soon.
At
yeah.
But I
10K
think,
subs.
but I think,
10K subs is good.
10K subs.
yeah,
11
get us to
Discord.
10K subs. We'll create a community where
Discord, school,
Discord
all of
friends.
us.
No,
Discord
school
friends.
community.
No,
Discord.
but also-
We'll host
another
in-person
thing.
IRL
Hey,
events,
we'll have
networking
a Discord
events.
server, and in the Discord, we'll have sections of each state and city.
Oh,
that you're
facts. If you guys in the
So y'all
host
could, like,
networking
link
events,
up
we'll
and, like,
travel
kick
to
it,
different
yeah.
states.
yeah,
countries,
IRL
whatever.
events.
If that's actually interesting, you guys will be interested in that. Like
It-
literally say it in the comments.
That'll be
below.
good, like having different sections of each state, and each state
Yeah, because
divided
people
up
can
into
find
like
each other in that specific location.
cities and stuff.
That's
Also,
smart, that's
also,
smart.
boys, like another thing, just about like finding friends like that. I don't think at the time where we became friends, we weren't exactly how we are now.
We weren't.
We
I
had
think-
some of the bases.
We wanted to be rich.
We weren't. Everyone wants to
I
be rich.
didn't. But I'm not gonna lie. When I met
Everyone
this
wants to
guy-
be rich.
I mean, when I met you, we just like got along really well.
Yeah.
We were like in class building Legos, just met and we got along
Yeah.
really well. You, I did not think about getting rich. We were just friends, and then somehow you got into business, got me introduced to it.
Yeah.
You and I hated
You
each
stole my.
other.
gr- Nah.
That's crazy. You guys heard it. I didn't say it. He said it. I stole his
no,
girl.
I
didn't
was into
even want her.
business ever since I was young. Like I wanted to be a millionaire, like always, no
Well,
matter
but
what.
I think
Yeah,
everyone
but
understands.
everyone wants to be a millionaire, but we didn't.
We didn't know what
Dero-
to do to do
No,
it.
but
Just doing it.
10-year-old Dero did not have the mindset and the hard
hell
work that he
no.
has now. That's what I'm saying.
Listen,
You gotta build it up.
Now, if you go to
100%.
anyone
But
in university,
also, you can't train someone to do that. For
Oh,
example,
no.
what he's about to say.
Bro, you can't
ahead.
go to. Everyone wants to be a millionaire. If you go to a university or college
Ask
and you
anyone.
talk to anyone, they can be like, "I'm gonna be rich one day."
Oh, yeah, yeah.
They don't know.
But how?
No one knows.
Also,
what
they're
it
not
actually
taking any
takes.
steps to do it.
Also-
I'm gonna get my college degree
One thing-
and
Let's not
liberal
forget how he
arts.
called.
I'm gonna go. This.
Also,
What are you gonna do with that?
Let's
dog?
not
Nothing.
forget how he called a surgeon and said to flip patties. I don't know
Okay.
if I said that.
Yeah,
right.
bro, bro's bugging. But
One
Just
thing I
stop
wanted to point out is since like bro, like especially people who are our age or maybe even younger, like anywhere from 13 to like 18 to 20 years old, who are probably watching this podcast or just also in the entrepreneur world or business minded, want to find a group of friends who can influence them or be part of their journey or share a journey with. If you can't find like that group of friends right now, I think like, and they're probably on social media right now because they're watching this YouTube video. I think you got to kind of instead of surrounding yourself with like 5 people who you want to like be like, surround yourself with like 5 different content creators or influencers like on social media that you inspire you or you want to be like in the future. Because your life is probably on the internet for a few hours a day. That's a big impact. So watch content creators, be surrounded by people who are pretty similar to the type of person you want to be or the future you want to have, and use that as like inspiration as you find people in your real life to kind of build a network with. And share journeys with.
I could only think of 2 things you could do in real life to actually like find people that are like-minded, and like one of them will probably get you results. Other one's like a little ghetto.
what is
The ghetto one is going to car meets. Car
Yeah.
meets is like a lot of people, but again, if you go to like high-end car meets, because
different,
if you have a high-end car as well, you go to high-end car meets, and yeah, you could probably find
Potentially gonna
connections.
meet people.
But that's like if you have a car. Let's say you don't have a car. You
Still
have to
go.
invest.
Still go.
I know, but invest $200 a month Equinox membership.
Oh,
Who goes
facts.
to Equinox? Rich people.
People only be rich
You're
people
going to
afford it.
make rich
I
connections
guess I'm
there.
going to Equinox now.
That's solid.
It
That's
is
That's
a
like
good
the
one.
only thing. Also, they're not only rich, bro. They have $200 to spend on a gym membership. Number one, it's
Yeah.
private. On top of that, if you go at like a certain time, it's gonna be more young people. So if it's like a young guy paying $200 for a gym, like, oh, what does that guy do? And you can
Yeah.
potentially like
It just
be
opens
homies
up
with them.
doors, like connections for
Yeah,
you.
like yo, want a spot? You want this? You want
Also,
that?
if you're a young person in a gym like Equinox, where obviously the membership is not cheap,
it's either
you're-
daddy's money or your money.
no, like you're I don't know how to explain
You're
it, but
treated
people who are successful are gonna want to kind of talk to you, just
Yeah.
like
to see why you're
They're
Interested.
there.
Ideas.
Yeah,
like,
just
they
being
wanna-
interested.
They're curious about like the doors you could open. Like, why are
100%.
you here? You're young. Like, how do you have $200 spent on membership? What do you do? Are you
Yeah.
are you kind of smart? Are you kind of like that's another thing that another message that comes with that is don't be scared to spend money in towards your future. Like
Oh,
things
yeah.
that could open up doors for your
yeah.
potential.
Money will come back.
Opportunity. The money
Opportunities
will always
won't.
come back. You can always make them. There's no point of just being scared and letting that sit in your bank account and never being afraid of using and always being afraid of using it.
Also-
use the money, leverage it to open new doors for you and make more money. Like this, you can't scared money don't make money.
yeah,
As like cheesy the quote sounds
Yeah.
is real.
like yeah, that's 100% true. And kind of adding on to that, there's literally 2 things I want to kind of talk about to like end this off, and then you guys can say whatever you guys want to say. But don't be scared of spending money. Obviously, don't be stupid with it, but do not be scared of spending money.
Yeah.
And another thing you really, really want to understand, if you're anywhere between the ages of honestly 15 to like
30.
mid to high 20s and maybe even 30, and even if you're older, it's fine. But if you're in these ages, I know most people watching the video are probably going to be in those ages. Please, it doesn't matter if you fail. Like, it really does not matter if you fail at what
doesn't.
you do, because you're so young. So
You're gonna learn.
like
You'll
just
have so much
log
you have no
in.
responsibilities. You can fail
Nothing
and learn, fail
matters.
and learn it. You could fail for 5 years and you'll still be fine.
Also, about spending the money and not being scared to spend money, don't go into like crazy debt spending the money. Like
Oh, yeah.
actually, like
Yeah, don't be stupid.
Be smart with it.
Also, if you are gonna be an entrepreneur and start a business, please like don't like yes, you have to be wagey. Like if you don't have the funds or you haven't saved that birthday money, dog, you just have to be a wagey. It just what happens. Work a job, make a couple $1,000, save up, start it. If your business starts taking off or whatever you're doing starts taking off and you don't have time to go to your job, fire.
I
Quit
worked
your
a
job
job.
and
Now,
do the business.
This is
Fire.
one thing I wanted to go off of.
I've worked a
I
job.
kind of
Yeah.
popped in my head because we talked about it before. As far as we've talked a lot about delegating and like giving the work to others, this stuff. But if you're starting off, you have to do everything. You have to be a slave.
Don't
Oh,
think
yeah.
about delegating until you make 15 to 30K a month.
You have to
Done.
be a slave of your own company, of your own job, because once you learn that, you have to learn the ins and outs
Oh,
of
100%.
every aspect of your
You
business.
can't delegate what you don't know.
Marketing, scheduling, billing, intakes, meeting new clients, or I'm talking in my field because that's what it took me to like learn all the parts of my business. But you have to learn the ins and outs of your business. I'm looking at the camera. Okay. Because if you bring someone on your team and you want them to join your team and do the right work, this kind of goes back to what you said. You have to be a good teacher. And the only way to be a good teacher is you doing it yourself, you making those
Hundreds of
mistakes
times.
of anything. So you
Yeah.
can teach them on what to do and your expectations.
100%.
So if you're starting off, don't think about, okay, the first 5,000 I make, I'm going to spend another 1,200 a month
Yeah.
hiring a scheduler, biller. Save that money, save the capital so you can reinvest, as we were saying, into other aspects or other things that are going to potentially bring you more value into your life, just like maybe a higher end car or a gym membership.
Yeah.
I think that's a lot more important than you
That's-
actually having, I'm running a business, I'm making $5,000 passively a month, and I'm not doing anything, right?
Yeah.
That's one thing, like what you said that my dad's always talked about, he's always taught me this is, doesn't matter what business you're doing, you have to know 100% of the things that is gonna be happening in your business. So for example, for this business, you couldn't just not you know, do scheduling and stuff like that. And at some point, just like hire someone who's doing scheduling. You have to kind of work your ass off with your business.
Yeah.
And you really need to just do everything. And after you really learn everything and you make enough money, delegate.
Like the thing is, you won't even get to the point where you know the ins and outs if you're just constantly just jumping back and forth to the next shiny object.
Yeah.
Again, like back to the cycle, like, oh, jump out to the next thing. Oh, it doesn't work. I'm gonna give up next thing. But the ins and outs, like you going through all the hardship and all the hard stuff will help you understand the ins and outs. Because a lot of people don't know about that hard stuff that goes on. So by like going through it months and months and months and years, you'll know about the hard stuff and eventually you'll figure it out, delegate, grow, make more money, and you'll succeed.
All right, guys. So I think
Is
it's
everyone
good
in
to
the
say
video?
Yeah,
we
I'm
wrap
good.
it up
I'm
because
done.
We're kind of
Well,
going
I
into the same topics, but I think
Yeah.
just to wrap everything off, I mean, if you're just starting off, make sure you put your head down and grind and actually take that first step and not overthink everything. Surround yourself with good people. Let us know below if that is potentially, as far as the community, you guys would be interested in. We're going to talk more about it behind the scenes. And then I guess we'll make it happen because I think that
They'll
keeps
hear him, bro.
it's a daily quoting that keeps us motivated.
Yeah.
I kind of like surrounding
I
ourselves
don't know what this is.
or create our
I don't
gym
either.
a very positive environment. So I mean, it just caught his eye. So
Yeah, it was literally sitting right here, and I'm like, we're ending. This is a perfect thing. Winners never quit, and quitters never win. Mic
Boom.
drop.
Anyway,
Thanks.
any topic
drop.
y'all want us to really like talk about or go more in depth, and just comment below. Like if it's like young entrepreneurship, how to run our businesses specifically, what do we do to get here? Anything you want,
Or-
type below. We'll talk about.
Or if there's something you guys disagreed, like what we said, let us
Yeah,
know in the
that too.
comments and what your take is. And if we see a lot of people disagree, we'll cover it again in the next topic, and we'll see. Or if you guys have some controversial topics you guys want to talk about, like Dero said, if you have any controversial topics, let us know below. Let us know your take on it, and we'll argue your take.
can we all hit the
We'll
dab?
argue take. Anyway, have a good one, boys. We're out. Love you guys.
Every Wednesday.
Peace out, everybody.